I got a snake over here.
Hey, guys, man, I got a huge cavern in here.
The python hunters push deeper into the Everglades.
If there's not a python in here, I don't know jack about pythons.
But they come up empty-handed.
Not today. The colder the weather gets, the more I want to get out of here.
I got a buddy in the tropical island of Puerto Rico.
So they head south to Puerto Rico.
Got him. Wow.
And hit the jackpot.
Guys, I got my hands on the endangered Puerto Rican boa.
Invasive reptiles threaten Florida's wetlands. Iguanas, Nile monitors, and the most notorious of all, the giant Burmese python.
Snake.
Snake.
Burn right there.
You got him? Oh, yeah.
Now 3 men join forces to defend the Everglades. Biologist Sean Heffleck. He's been chasing, breeding, and collecting reptiles his entire life.
I've never been afraid of snakes.
Exotic reptile breeder and cop Greg Graziani. He knows his pythons inside and out.
I got my first Burmese python when I was 12 years old.
And python breeding pro Michael Cole. He sold his designer color mutations for as much as $25,000.
I've learned about reptiles the hard way. It was a passion.
They are the Python Hunters.
Back just a hair. No, right, yeah, right there. Hold it on there. Okay, they're coming in and going.
They're going underneath.
Underneath that rock there. He's out.
Yeah, I got a bunch buzzing all over my freaking head.
You're okay. They're not landing on you. They're going around you.
You're not down here in the middle of them.
That's
The guys are looking for Burmese pythons in a burrow chock full of bees.
There you go.
All right, that's not a worker coming at you.
Cold-blooded reptiles use this kind of space to conserve heat and survive Florida's current deep freeze.
Hey, boys, what are you doing?
We've heard how bad worldwide the honeybee population is. Thought this would be pretty cool to check out.
Oh, okay, little bear and junior bear. I know you're really just looking for honey. So how about we go actually find some snakes before they start calling us the bee hunters?
Yeah, why don't we go hunt snakes so Crybaby Pea Pants over there doesn't give us a hard time.
Crybaby pea pants? Yeah. Did you learn that from Lane?
Yeah. Actually, that's a law enforcement term. I first heard that sergeant would use that when guys would cry about their schedule. There you go.
It's a law enforcement term.
But I'm just gonna go hunt snakes.
All right, Crybaby Pea Pants.
Burmese python captures are on the decline. The guys blame an early and colder than usual winter for the snake's retreat.
You know, I know if there's just one out there, we gotta find it.
They suspect surviving snakes may be moving closer to residential areas. People attract rodents, and debris provides protection and cover.
Look at this piece of metal right here in the sun.
Yep.
110, 113, I mean, depending on where you're at on that metal.
So people and their trash are actually creating a micro-refugia to help these animals survive. We're trying to get rid of them, and people's trash is helping them.
So I take it you've looked that word up.
No, I haven't, but it sounds so good. We'll use it anyway.
Micro-refugia are favorable climates that exist within unfavorable ones. This hot piece of sheet metal creates a microclimate, perfect for a thermal-regulating snake.
Not today.
Look at this cavity. Some of these are deep. There are things using these cavities. They're clean.
You still running temperatures over there, Greg?
This rock over here at 84, 84.2 over here in the sun. And in that cavern over there, I had like 47 degrees. So within 10 yards, we go from 84 to 47. That's why these animals can survive, because they move to the areas they need to.
Burmese pythons come from the tropics, where temperatures reach 34 degrees and rarely fall below 20. With South Florida feeling more like the South Pole, Burms are in a world of trouble.
A barometric change in pressure a lot of times signals a cold front moving through that indigenous animals will go, oh, and they move to find cover. For tropical species, those changes not only don't cue them to move for cover, a lot of times they cue them for a reproductive event.
Yeah, now you got a male that's left his burrow and he's headed out looking for females, and you know he could go a couple miles looking for the right girl.
Yeah, he goes looking for a female and he's gonna get way out away from, you know, the cover that he's used to.
I do have to disagree with Mike on one thing. He's not looking for the right girl. He's looking for a girl.
More searching turns up nothing. So the python hunters target the next site on their to-do list.
Why don't we head over to the farm field?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Farmers in Florida spray their fields to protect their crops during hard freezes.
Look, they got the big water guns out.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you get the water to sit on the leaves,
It creates an insulation.
that way the wind can't come through. That's what really does the serious damage.
You know how much pressure that is right there? That would knock you down.
Because this farm is nestled into the Everglades, over 30 Burmese pythons have turned up in these fields in the last 2 years.
How you guys doing?
We heard that you guys found a swatch where you think the snake's going through.
Was either a rather large python or a drunk on a bicycle. And
Either's fun.
you're right,
Fun
right.
and games.
And if it was a drunk on a bicycle, because we researched it, we trailed it, he didn't fall off. There's no marks on either side. So we come to the conclusion it's a rather large python.
Can you head us in that direction? I know you guys are busy today, but
We can tell you where it is, but I do have a lot to do, but I'll get you out there. I'll tell you where it was. There's a pothole, and I know you remember seeing it, a hammock pothole.
Yep, right.
That's where he's living. It hasn't been disturbed in years and years, and that's where that joker slithers in and out of. Now, one of these days, we ought to go out there, burn that pothole, and get around it, and we're gonna see some pythons come
out.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go check it out. Let's let these guys get back to work.
yeah, Larry.
Thank you
Been a
very
pleasure
much. Wish
again.
I could be of more help to you guys.
that's a lot
Thanks
of
again.
help.
Thanks again. Good luck. Good luck. Any
Guys, have a
problems,
good
any need on directions, let me know.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's it right there.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
Oh my God, look at the piles in there. That is perfect habitat.
Hey, look at this. He's talking about wells. There's an open well head right here with water.
Yeah.
You know, these sized python just hang his head down in there and get as much water as he wanted. And that water's 72 degrees. That's a lot warmer than it's gonna be tonight.
Tell you what, why don't we check the perimeter for any tracks going in or out before we dive into this thicket right here.
That is nice stuff to bring the rodents in.
This is the sunny side right here. If you're gonna find something sitting out, this will be the side.
Yeah, this stuff is thick as hell. I think Larry had the right idea. Torch it. You know, there's nothing around here, just crops. There's no way it's gonna
Hey,
light anything else up.
it's only 1/10 of an acre. We can clear it. I'm feeling good about this one.
Yeah, you just don't listen. The best thing to do is to strike a match. Man, he always wants to do it the hard way. He's just wanting to save this pile of debris.
No rats. No, Bufo marinus.
Bufo marinus, or cane toad, is a poisonous invasive from Central America with a toxic gland that protects it from predators.
Invasive marine toad.
Plantation owners imported them to control cane beetles. Now they're found throughout southern Florida. Besides its poison, the cane toad has another defensive mechanism.
He pissed in your pocket. Ah! He stuck that marine toad in the inside of his jacket pocket and it filled it up with urine.
You think that's funny? That's great.
What the hell are you doing?
I didn't bring a bag with me. I was gonna save the glory of catching the snake and share it with you guys, but you can often kiss my ass.
Crybaby pee pants. Crybaby pee pants.
It ain't pants.
The guys push into the brush to see what else they can find.
Be very careful, because when you're going up and over this, it's a lot of coral rock with a lot of debris piled up. Yeah, it's a mess, man. Ah! Holy crap. Hey,
You guys all right over there?
yeah, I'm kind of stuck.
What?
I'm a little stuck.
Are you serious? Can you get out? You all right?
I'm working on it. God dang it.
Oh, yeah, Mikey. I think we can cover this. I can't even see anything.
Hey, guys, man, I got a huge cavern in here. Come on, you wusses.
I'm stuck upside down in this stuff.
Hey, what's the matter, son? You can't keep up. Michael's here.
I found myself in a bit of a predicament.
Come on, man.
Push me inside.
Check this out over here.
No, I took the easy way and I just rolled down that hill.
Check this out right in here. You go all up. I fell through all of that crap. I was upside like that.
Yeah. So picture this, fields covered in crops covered in rodents, and you have an island paradise with cover, food, there's water over there in a basin, and nobody messes with you.
He said there might even be a well in here.
More than likely, when they first started doing this, all these big coral rocks dug up, they probably dug that out to get to the water. This probably started as the well to feed all this stuff.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's not a python in here, I don't know jack about pythons.
Michael's bought a new powerboat. Now the guys can go faster and deeper into the Everglades to search for pythons.
One of the coolest things about this boat is we can maneuver through these waterways like the berms do, getting from island to island.
Work for you?
Works perfect for me.
The Everglades, 600,000 hectares, home to more than 50 kinds of reptiles. But the apex predator is the American alligator. Suddenly, it finds itself competing with the Burmese python, formidable predators that eat birds, rodents, and other mammals. Almost anything they can swallow. Because they're excellent swimmers, this huge wetland offers pythons a billion places to hide.
They look like some good open spots up there for basking in this cold weather.
Yeah. There's a big tree over there. It's probably a good island. Start there and work our way back. That gives us a focal point to start at next time to go that way.
Good deal.
If we decide to bring Sean back. I mean when. I mean when. It's like a pretty decent area.
There looks like a good spot right there. This is some good cover here. Yeah, if we're gonna find anything today. This looks like a really good spot.
It's thick, that's for sure. Good to go?
Good to go, man.
"10,000 islands dot the Everglades.
If we still got berms out here, this is a good place.
Their thick mangrove and tall grasses make perfect camouflage for Burmese pythons.
This stuff is thick. It's nasty.
This is that needle in a haystack, which makes it so difficult for us to get these berms out of the Everglades because of terrain like this. I mean, you're standing 3 feet away from me, I can barely see you through the brush.
I've never heard you complain about not being able to see me before.
So maybe we can find some rocks where these guys can get up and bask.
Sounds good.
They're searching for an open patch of sunlight where a cold-blooded reptile can recharge its energy reserves.
Snake! I got a snake over here.
What you got? Coming. Coming through. Not a berm.
No, not a berm.
What do you got?
You're sitting up and look at this.
Holy cow. It's a rough green snake.
Rough green.
That's an awesome find. He's healthy, too.
The rough green is also called the grass snake. It eats insects and can grow to about 1 meter. Although common throughout the southeastern U.S., the South Florida rough greens are in decline for unknown reasons.
You know, the neat thing about those, you can see the pupil, the round pupil in the eye so well with that species. It makes it so easy to identify as a non-venomous North American species.
Look at this. You want to talk about something that blends in here? Check this out. Look at that. I mean, you can't even... Hey, you'll lose him in a heartbeat. His head's way over here. You want to talk about camouflage? It doesn't get any better than that.
No.
In this type of growth.
Yeah, look at what he's doing.
He's shaking.
Yeah, back and forth.
It's a camouflage mechanism to appear to be just like the leaves. Chameleons do the same thing when they rock.
Yep, when the wind
Walking
blows.
up and down.
Yep, they think.
Yeah.
Yep, there he's doing it again.
He's yawning. He's yawning.
It's so cool when they do that. You know, Greg, I would so much rather find snakes like this that belong here, that we can photograph and pick up and look at and let go on their way, than berms. So much better.
I totally agree.
All right, man. Good catch.
All right, let's
Head
go
this
find
way.
something bigger.
So where's this big boy you got while I was gone?
Right there.
Holy cow.
Back at Sean's reptile sanctuary, this giant African Sulcata tortoise is finding refuge.
He is a machine. He's a beast. Look at that thing. Napoleon, I think you better find somewhere to hide, brother.
Hey.
So, they just found this? Where'd they get this? Come here, buddy.
Somebody didn't want it anymore. It was at the shelter.
Oh, so they just turned it in? Mm-hmm. He's a big animal. People don't understand. Look at the size of that beast. He's well over 100 pounds.
Uh-huh.
It's got to be.
These tortoises make their home in the dry sub-Saharan region of Africa. This winter's cold isn't making it any easier to take care of them.
They're calling for in a couple of days the low to be 25 degrees.
Yeah. It's gonna be a long winter.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Maybe it'll snow here for once.
Caring for the growing collection of reptiles at Sean's sanctuary puts a strain on Jen and Thorne.
You're okay. You're okay.
They could use some extra help when Sean's away, so he's interviewing a candidate for the job.
He's Argentine black and white.
It's a good-looking tegu.
His name is Cade.
Yeah, I've got a lot of big monitors and that as well, but most people don't realize that they need to set him up in a big cage like that. Mm-hmm. Can we get him out?
Definitely.
Is it a he or
Sean's at Tara's house to assess how well she cares for her own reptiles.
Look at you. You're handsome. Look at that tongue.
I have the female jungle boa, and her name is Big Mama.
Big Mama.
She's hungry.
Oh, yeah?
So she's a little bit aggressive right
A little
now.
feisty. You mind if I get her out?
Fine with me.
As long as I do it.
You, but she's been striking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not food.
Big Mama's up for adoption because of her aggressive behavior. In captivity, she could grow to over 4 meters, a potential danger for an inexperienced owner.
You're all right, aren't you? Oh, don't smell any rats, do you? No, you should just took a drink of water. Whoops, sorry about that. She had a throat full of water.
Yeah, she
I
did.
just pulled her out of her water bowl. Oh, yeah.
This is my reptile room.
Roughly 1 million Americans own exotic reptiles, so Tara's not alone. But the variety in her collection tells Sean that she's more than just an amateur hobbyist.
Over here, I have a Molly Euromastics in
Oh,
here.
yeah, I love those things. I'm a sucker for those high contrast animals. Yeah, yeah, it's a little beauty.
pretty.
And they've almost got like a beak like a bird and like a toad head.
Yeah.
You're pretty. Uh-oh, we got a bearded dragon.
Yeah, this
Well, that's
is
a
my
nice-
dragon.
That's a nice setup.
He's super friendly.
And they make a really good pet. They don't get really big. You know, typically they're not aggressive at all. Part of me coming out here today is to kind of check out your caging and the healthier animals and do due diligence, so to speak. And I like what I see. We can set up a day and have you come out and check some stuff out. And, if that interests you, we can do it.
Yes, I'd love that.
Meanwhile, the other python hunters haven't given up finding a berm. Michael's new python chaser is just the thing to navigate the Everglades' 2,250 kilometers of canals.
There's a couple of places to dock right in here. And Mike, we definitely got snakes on this island.
And some skin?
Yep. Looks from what I can see quickly like a really large racer.
Not berm skin?
No, definitely not a berm.
Oh wow, that's a good size racer.
The black racer gets its name from its incredible speed and agility. Racers eat just about anything they can overpower and swallow alive, like rodents, frogs, toads, and lizards.
That's a whole skin, too.
Yeah, it is. I'm hoping the head's on there. Yeah, it is. It is.
Unlike humans, a snake's skin doesn't grow as the animal does, so it has to shed the outermost layer. This can happen as often as every month.
That's got to be really fresh. The ants would have destroyed that in just a couple of days. And it's just another great sign. The native stuff's doing well. I mean, that's obviously a healthy shed from a healthy snake.
Yeah, it is.
So, very cool.
Make sure we don't come across this again. We'll get him.
You're not going to let me find it, too?
Exactly what you'll do.
A healthy rough green snake and a fresh black racer skin are the python hunter's only spoils for this day. But there still could be a giant berm lurking on the Dunnigan farm. The arrival of a week-long cold snap in December is the earliest on record. For Greg, that means protecting his baby American alligators.
You know, we've had some ridiculous cold here in December, which is just way early. And although these little guys can handle it, we opted to bring them in. Welcome to your nice warm bath. They've been around for millions of years. They were around when the dinosaurs were here. They're virtually unchanged. They're the closest thing to living dinosaurs that we have. And just like everything, people like the cute little babies, but then they don't know what to do with them when they get 10, 12 feet long.
Greg has another special mission that can't wait.
See, here comes one.
Lane and Lexi rescued these Florida softshell turtles from the jaws of a marauding raccoon when they were still in their eggs.
There's one right there.
Oh, I see it.
As a native species, these turtles must adapt to Florida's winter by nestling into the pond mud.
You see, he starts
Digging.
digging. His little butt up in the air. Here, now we've got 23 new little turtles in the pond. Good stuff, huh?
Obviously, with this many animals, there's a lot to do.
For Tara to be a success in Sean's sanctuary, she'll need to prove she can handle some of his more challenging reptiles.
Just hanging on to this little guy. He's a handful. He will try to nip you. Now, this is a broad-snouted caiman.
Okay.
And if you notice, he looks like he's got that bulldog type of face and jaws.
Yeah.
They have a powerful bite. So don't get bit by these guys.
Okay.
So, I mean, the easiest way to do them is you just slide your hand, I'll hold the head, you slide your hand right up with your fingers, right around his neck. So take almost like this, just right in around mine, and grab him well, and you don't want him to turn. They're stronger than they look. All right? And you just don't get your finger in the mouth.
He moved his leg, and I was like, oh, I gotta hold on to him tighter.
Crocodilians are typically a little more work than snakes. Now, he's quick.
Okay.
So you want to get this hand out of the way, and that next one is going to be just whoop, as fast as you can. There you go. He was nice. He's like, I'm gonna cut you a break. As you grade up to the bigger ones, it gets more interesting, because if you make a mistake, you know, the consequences are more severe.
This morlet is a freshwater crocodile found in Central America.
Oh, stop. You never bite anybody. I don't know why you try. But this one are morlets. You know, beautiful animals. I love morlets. But make no mistake, if you put your hand in his mouth, he would bite it.
Definitely he would.
And if you look at those teeth, they're not big, but they are sharp.
Handling animals is part of the job, but Thorne wants help cleaning the tanks and cages.
You want to try holding him?
Oh, maybe.
Just slide your hand up under mine. Just so you see, I got fingers on two sides, all the way up. You got him?
I think so.
All right, and the more relaxed, I mean, you want a firm grip, but the more relaxed you are, the more relaxed he is.
He's gorgeous.
Tara's a fast learner, but it's fearlessness that will nail down this job, and learning to care for Sean's prized albino alligators.
How many of these you want?
All of them.
All of them. They're gorgeous. Can't get enough of them. You think you want to work, put some time in here and with different animals?
Yes. I would love to.
Yeah, no, it's cool. What do you think, Thorne?
If you need some extra help.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, like that was a mystery.
That evening, the python hunters set out on the long drive to the Dunnigan farm. In the morning, they arrive planning to smoke out a large berm hiding in thick vegetation.
Yeah, look how wet the ground is. I mean, the inside of that's got to have a ton of moisture in it.
It puts the entire operation on hold.
There's still standing water. Look at that.
It was underwater yesterday. You can see how the water had leveled the land, and it's all
Really?
gone, but right there now.
Yeah.
Down in that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, the inside of this is probably full of moisture. We'd end up with a muck fire.
I don't see how we could get it started.
Yeah.
With
More
that
smoke than anything.
Green foliage and the debris that's in there is so soaked. It was torrential last night. And in the center, there's actually water and cattails. It's a deep, very, very natural, but deep hole.
Yeah, we've crawled through it.
Yeah,
We actually,
we were
the
in
growth
it.
on top, we went to walk across and literally fell in up to our shoulders before we found the rocks and the actual bottom of it.
Really?
So yeah, we've been right in the center of that. Like I said, when you get in there, it looks a whole lot bigger inside because you're fighting for every inch you need.
Farmers in the past that farmed this land years ago, if the rocks come up and they're too big for the tractors and the equipment to go over, they send a crew through and pick them up, and they put them in that hole.
So there's a pile of them in there.
Yes, yes.
Of really large coral rocks, which make great refuges for these snakes to get into. I know you guys are going to burn, you need to get rid of this pile and this debris. If you guys could just give us a holler, when it is dry enough. If you are going to burn it, we'd like to come out here, stay
We'll
on the
make
perimeter
you
and
that
see if anything
promise.
comes out.
That's a promise. You'll be notified in plenty of time so you can get on down here and watch them run.
Outstanding.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you. You guys take care. Take care.
Good luck.
Look at this. It's so wet outside. I hear the inside of that's going to be a nightmare.
With no chance this site will dry up soon, the guys take this latest setback as an omen. It's time for a change of scenery.
The colder the weather gets, the more I want to get out of here. I want to go somewhere where we can find live stuff.
All right. I got a buddy in the tropical island of Puerto Rico. They've got invasive. They've got the endangered Puerto Rican boas. They've got all kinds of fun stuff. And it's a small island. We can, if we take maybe a week, we can hit that whole island up and down and inside and out. We'll be back.
Puerto Rico is only a 2-hour flight from Miami. But Sean's the only python hunter who's set foot here before.
Rico, here we come, baby. Oh, yeah.
Locals call it the Island of Enchantment, and it's easy to see why. The lush island is only 64 kilometers wide and 177 kilometers long, but it's home to over 40 species of native and invasive reptiles.
Well, boys, welcome to the tropics.
This is jungle. Oh, man, I can't wait to get my hands on some of those iguanas.
Those Cuban rock iguanas, you know how many people are going to be jealous of us to actually put our hands on a wild population of those animals? Hell, I've been jealous of Sean.
Yeah.
I got to hear about all his stories about going all over and catching this and catching that, and,
Hey, you know what? The cool part? Finally, we'll be able to substantiate some of his stories if we have some good ones from here.
Yeah, we can see if they're actually true or not.
To see everything on their wish list, the guys have teamed up with an expert guide.
About freaking time you got here.
Ivan Alfonso is Michael's vet in Florida, but he was raised in Puerto Rico and knows all of its reptile hotspots.
There's gonna be quite a few adventures here. It's gonna be quite interesting. We're gonna be visiting not only invasive species, but also native species. Because, I also want you guys to take a look of, what we have here, that it's endemic here, that these invasives can be displacing.
You got a lot to live up to.
I know.
We get told by people all the time, I'm going to take you and we're going to find this.
I know.
How confident are you?
100% confident I can deliver.
All right.
All right?
That's a tall order.
It's been a long time since I've been here, but I'm chomping at the bit to get back at it, and I know it's fresh for you guys, so let's get on it, man.
All right.
To begin their adventure on a high note, Ivan sets course for a research facility on an isolated island, just a short boat ride from the coast. It's home to the rare and impressive Cuban rock iguana.
So this is an invasive species. How'd they get here?
They're native to Cuba. They were brought in as part of the zoo, and then when the zoo closed down, they left them. Technically, they left them to die, but they can thrive here.
Actually, the habitat here is more conducive for these lizards than in Cuba, because in Cuba they've got all the natural predators there. They've got Cuban crocodiles, American crocodiles. You've got all the other wildlife on Cuba. So here, they've got the same tropical environment.
It's more of a sanctuary for
Exactly.
them. Do you have dibs on first catch because you're Puerto Rican, or is every man for himself?
I mean, even if I tell you yes, I know you're gonna try to get first dibs no matter what.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I watched the show. So, you gotta remember though that these guys are gonna be more powerful than a green iguana. Already a few over there. They'll scratch, they'll bite, they'll hit with the tail. They are powerful.
All right, guys, let's get a game plan here. We're coming up.
I tell you what I'd like to do with these guys.
Walk around.
Let's just walk and see what their demeanor is, and just
Exactly.
see how close we can get, and let's get a lay of the land here.
Oh man, look at this big monster male.
Oh, yeah.
You already saw
He's
it?
old.
There's another one there. Look at that. Go for it.
Yeah, you can grab
Oh,
those.
these are gonna be
these are
like
gonna be cool.
taking
Look at
candy
this little one right here.
from a baby. Greg, behind you is a little one.
Gotta soak up that sun, get that vitamin D synthesis going on. See what's going on.
Look at the size of this one.
It's a big one right
You know,
there.
you've got 3, 4 of them up at the base of that.
You wanna,
So,
if they go in there.
This isn't like catching berms in the Everglades where we're gonna run around for 2 or 3 days between each snake we find.
I've been telling you for a while, you guys needed to come here.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
gonna
this
love
is,
it.
at best, this is the I mean, you're going to be able to reach down and capture these by hand.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is, I mean,
Little ones
they're
there.
the little ones, they're just everywhere, man.
This being a herbivore lizard, people don't see it as a pest. Like when you were with all those iguanas and everything right there, it really hasn't been creating a problem. Should it be something, a predator or a carnivore, then you would be having some major issues and people having a problem with it. But these iguanas have been here for as long as I remember.
Here, look
Big
at
one
that.
way up
Look
there.
at that one right there.
Wow.
That's the difference between here and Florida too. There's never gonna be a freezing cold snap which would wipe these things out.
The Cuban rock iguana is a threatened species in its native homeland. Yet here on this protected island, free of hunters and natural predators, it thrives on the abundant food and tropical heat.
That's a big one.
It's a good sized animal.
Look at this ridge right here.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that ridge.
Now that's a scene right there. Wow.
1, 2, 3,
impressive.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
There gotta be 500 on this island, at least.
And it's funny, it's like you...
Even though they were intentionally released and are technically invasive reptiles here, Puerto Rican authorities see no reason to exterminate this vulnerable species.
No, it's a giant one.
Yeah, pretty big one.
This native to Puerto Rico is often mistaken for a chameleon because it changes color. But Sean knows what he's working with.
This is
Is
a Puerto Rican earring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There you go, brother. You're a handsome devil there. This, Ivan.
Yep.
This is one of the old cages from the zoo, isn't it?
Yep.
This could very well be the cage, with its proximity to the mangrove and that they house these cyclura in.
I mean, this is a critically endangered species. If the native range were wiped out,
Oh, this
there's
is an
almost
excellent
enough animal
reservoir.
to start the population back up.
This is an excellent reservoir for the species. There's always the possibility, should the animal become extinct, you can actually relocate some of these iguanas.
Let's go catch some lizards, get some equipment, and have at it. They're just cruising along the building.
The great thing about these, and we said it before, they've used these for old dinosaur movies and that. They just, you know, make them look like they're...
Right in front of you, Michael.
That's perfect.
Hold on, I'll run it back to you, Sean.
Here we go.
Watch him go on that. Take this
Wow,
side.
that one is perfect.
He's not used to seeing a human on all fours, Sean.
Yeah, he's like, what is that? That's a weird looking dog. Give me a little buddy. Get him. Oh, no! Mikey!
Done better with my hand.
Oh, my God.
You got whipped by a little lizard, man.
All right, Mikey, hand the net to somebody else, buddy.
With over 1,000 iguanas to chase on this small island, the hunters go wild.
Here's one right here, little tiny one right here.
Oh, yeah, he's a...
Hey, little buddy. How you like that one?
Oh,
blue?
this one's perfect.
Look at the blue on that.
This one's perfect.
Which one? The
Right
pale
here.
one? Oh. Watch for them teeth, Greg.
Another little nice one.
Another little one?
That's a keeper, look at that.
Look at perfect.
I mean, look at the spines on this, and they hit you with that tail. I mean, it's spiked all the way down. The green iguanas just have a ridge here, and they're pretty much smooth.
Yeah, run your hand the other way on it.
No, no, that's
like little razor blades there.
Mikey's got black gloves on here, and they've got some claws. And as much as they dig, look how sharp those claws still are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you guys understand how the people back in the States that are big into iguanas would go nuts? I mean, we just walk right up and reach down and pick these guys up.
But you know the greatest thing about them? They cannot establish in areas that the green iguana can. You can let these loose in the Everglades. Well, you don't want to, obviously, but if it occurred, they would die. They cannot survive in an environment like that. They need very strict coastal vegetation and habitat.
So we'll catch some of the big ones just to examine them and take a look at them close up. Look at this big male right here.
Right here, look at this.
Watch him cut between us, Greg.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead and push. He wants some of you too, Michael.
Push, Mike, push, Mike.
Push.
I got the tree in front of me.
Push, Mike.
Push.
Push, Mike.
Push.
Got it. Got it. Wow. Nice.
You got the head good? All right. Look at that.
Hey, boy. Woo! You didn't know the python hunters were in town, did you? Huh? If that does not look like a living dinosaur, I don't know what does.
For a population like this to be sustainable with so many healthy males and females and babies alike, not only they're getting an ideal diet, this is definitely ideal environment for them.
Right. I got a question for Sean. I mean, he's our world traveler in the group. I mean, he's been all over the place. This the first time you've caught wild Cuban iguanas?
Wild Cubans, yeah.
So we're actually getting to be in the presence with one of Sean's first.
We'll be in one of his stories.
Exactly, exactly.
When I was in Puerto Rico. Hey, you know the best thing about that is? That'll be a story you guys will actually want to listen to.
Exactly. Actually, it's not listened to, we'll believe it.
Right. Coming at you. Round that side of the tree, round that side of the tree.
More than just stories will emerge from this day. The guys compete to see who can capture the most.
Oh, no.
We found the hole, man.
We got holes, boys. We've seen that before.
I want to see
Let's
this
check
guy in
this
here.
out, man.
We're going in here or this side?
Yeah.
All right, good. Yep. Can you turn off to the right there? Hold on. Tie it up. Yep. About back out a little bit. Yep. There's. You're right on his face right there.
Really?
All right. There. There he is.
Focus in on that. Oh, yeah, look at that. He's
There's
got
his
4.
eye. There's his nose. Look at him hiding back there in his burrow.
Oh, yeah.
He goes,
Isn't
I'm
that
safe.
cool?
That's cool. Look at him.
That is
You know
totally
what?
cool.
If you glance at that, that's a gnarled, like, root under there. That is truly Godzilla tucked away in its lair.
Look at that. What's he eating? Is that one of these seed pods?
Looks like it, yeah. That's a piece of the puzzle for how it is these invasives are surviving on this island.
You got him?
Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at the leaf he was eating. Look at the leaves he's
This iguana's been caught snacking.
Look at
Want to
that.
know what they're eating? There you go.
Actually, I do want to know what they're eating.
Rock iguanas have rich vegetarian diets. With all the shrubs and trees here, it's easy to figure out why this population is so robust.
I'll tell you what, these are healthy.
But there's also a scientific way to analyze an animal's diet.
There you go, Sean.
That's fresh. Sean, if you want to see, there's the leaves right there for you.
Don't think about it. Don't even think
You are the expert vet.
But not everyone here shares Sean's enthusiasm for iguana turd.
Don't think about it.
There's absolutely nothing, no secondary anything. This is like straight leaf matter.
Let's stay. If you guys circle around, you
Yeah,
run
I'm
them right
glad you're
into
here,
this
Greg,
fence.
bag.
What? How can he
Bag.
be a vet and be so
let's
squeamish?
Being a vet has nothing to do with
Get a
being,
picture of this.
you know, white.
Step over here. Good back.
That has nothing to do with being a vet.
Look, he got a PVC stick. I'm not sure that's gonna help him catch something or beat me away. Oh, okay.
No, this is actually only for you.
This little island also has the same species of invasive green iguanas the guys hunt back in Florida. Over on Puerto Rico's mainland, they've become a similar overpopulated nuisance.
Hey guys, we captured a ton of green iguanas. I mean, the only reason for trying to get one now is I'd like to compare it side by side to a Cuban. Michael, can you get I don't know if you can get back in there.
Where is he?
Right in there in that hole, right
4
behind
feet
that
off the
log.
ground?
If you go up that, maybe running back to us.
Without falling, Mike.
You're gonna run about 25 Cubans back to us as well.
Break a leg.
All right, he's curving back to our right.
Oh.
Wait. All right. There you go, dug right into the, look at what those, he couldn't have posed that better. Look at that. Now we got to grab up a Cuban. I want to see one of these guys side by side.
That should be easy.
Yeah, right.
Good way to run them in, man. Round up a Cuban.
Mike.
Good job, Mikey. Whoa. There you go.
Look at that.
Look,
Look at the size of the heads. I mean, the heads on these two animals. These are both, this is kind of a subadult, but this is a full adult. Look at the bite pressure, the jowls on this thing.
That is a nice muscle right there that ties into the sagittal crest on the skull. It's kind of a bony ridge. And then you've got all this nice jowl musculature down here. That thing would give you a hurting. That is just a powerful, powerful mouth. Look at the difference in the tips of these claws.
The green iguana claw on this side right here has a hook in it designed to hook in the bark of trees and climbing. This animal here spends more time on the rocks and ground and wears those claws down.
Digging.
So
yeah, digging. They're diggers.
When these guys are just much more prehistoric than green iguanas.
Oh, they are.
So they're
Look at the eyes. It's even like a different shape.
Oh, that's close.
Oh,
man. Oh, yeah.
Too close. That was going to be some tendons going
like
there.
that.
You were fixing to lose a tendon or two.
Yeah.
All right, you want to play around? Is that how you want to play around?
You want a
Yeah,
picture of the
Wait a minute.
get in here.
No.
Oh, you don't have a lizard?
No.
Go
I
catch
need a
one.
freaking
Go
lizard.
catch one. Hey, we're out all day.
Come on, buddy. This is going to be a while.
Come on, Mikey. Catch a little one. Hey, we got a little one in a bag for you,
All right,
man.
he got one. Come on.
There we go.
All right, the race is on. Here we go. We're going to release them.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm happy we were able to just hop on a plane and head down to Puerto Rico, meet up here with Ivan, and check out some reptiles in a warmer climate.
And I can tell you, this is just tip of the iceberg.
In Puerto Rico, tourists are often tempted by merchants selling curious keepsakes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is all prep stuff. He's prepping this stuff.
But the python hunters know some things are better left on the roadside.
These two right here are pretty realistic.
Realistic, huh? When's the last time you saw a caiman standing up on his hind legs, crossing his hands like that?
But clearly, that one's been taught to beg.
This is
It's kind of weird, really.
it's kind of sad, actually. These things are huge. It's like he just glues them together.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell. I don't even think those are cleaned out.
This one. Look at 2, 3-year-old. So this is legal to do here because these guys are invasives and they want them killed, and, but illegal for anybody that buys them, tourists or anything, to take them home.
And I guarantee they don't tell you that when you're dropping your $100 on a mount like this, that when you get to the airport back in the States, they're going to take it from you.
But you could face fines and probable legal issues yourself.
Criminal prosecution. It's an illegal activity.
Yeah.
Smuggling, technically. This is interesting, guys, but it's kind of disgusting, and I'd much rather see him live and chase him down.
Next stop on their Puerto Rico road trip, the famous Culebrones Cave near Arecibo.
How's it going?
Sean.
I'm Bert.
Joining them is Dr. Bert Rivera, a local biologist who will help them get a closer look at the unique creatures that live in the cave.
Basically, what we have is a large population of bats, around 300,000 bats in this cave. And the boas come out 300,000.
300,000?
I'll be taking you down to the cave, and hopefully we'll see a bunch of boas eating bats tonight.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
So 300,000 bats, you're talking about a pretty extensive cave system here.
It's about 600 meters.
Wow.
We have seen boas inside the cave.
Okay.
And I would expect that they do feed in adults. They'd have no problem feeding opportunistically on the young that fall from the ceiling.
Okay. Oh, this is awesome.
Beautiful.
I gotta say, man, this is nothing like Florida.
Watch the
Wasp.
the wasp.
Hey,
Oh.
right here. Look,
Yeah.
look. That's a wasp nest. You bump into that, that's what we call guinea wasps. Little alarm system right
Alarm system. Okay.
there. They'll really tear you up.
Painful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
From here on, the python hunters need to be cautious.
Okay, guys, we're almost near the cave. We gotta be a little more quiet because the bats, they spook with loud noises.
Now, what is this? So this is the cave. Cool.
This is the cave.
Oh my God! Look at this. Already coming out. Look. Oh wow! Look at this. The bats are out.
There are approximately 2,000 caves on the island, but this one is special.
Okay, guys, this is the cave.
Look at. Yeah. He's hanging right down. Look at that. Look at. There's a boa. He's hanging. Oh wow! Look at this.
Hanging from a vine is the Puerto Rican boa. It can grow up to 2.5 meters long, although 4-meter specimens have been found.
Look at him lower himself down over that ledge.
Okay.
Armed with special permits from the Puerto Rican government, the guys can't wait to get their hands on such a rare reptile.
I got you here. Perfect. Just watch your face.
He's not
There you go.
aggressive at all.
All right, I have to go
Guys,
under
I
me.
got my hands on the endangered Puerto Rican boa.
That's beyond magnificent.
He's chilly. I'm good.
He is cold. Feel it.
It doesn't get any better than hanging in a bat cave with a boa.
It's not just any boa. This is a boa that very few people on this planet have seen in the wild, let alone had the opportunity to lay their hands on it. This is beyond my expectation.
He's taken a few bites in the face, but he looks, I mean, this is a beautifully healthy animal. Guys, I'm gonna put him back on his perch here.
This is so cool. Look at this. I feel like the Statue of Liberty.
You could stand there for hours like that, couldn't
I'm
you?
telling you.
Told you we would see him.
You're the man, baby.
Carnivorous Puerto Rican boas feed on small mammals, birds, and lizards. But this spoiled snake gorges himself on some of the 300,000 bats that fly past as they exit the cave.
Do they actually strike out, or do they wait for a bat to brush them and they're just that quick?
They actually wait for something to brush them.
They're starting to pick up, aren't they?
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, this is incredible.
And tonight, the guys hope to witness the boa feasting.
Oh!
He got it. Nope.
No, missed it. Oh, it just hit him right in the face, didn't it?
He's about to nail something.
He's got the rap.
Shot, you gotta be careful you don't get bitten.
Got it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Sweet.
The boa hangs by its tail and seizes prey in its jaws. Its backward-facing teeth prevent escape. And then, the snake coils around its victim and suffocates it.
Come on. There you go. Oh, there's the bat. Look, there's the bat hanging out of the bottom.
Look at that.
The wings are just going in, sticking out both sides of his mouth.
That's a
That
tiny
is,
little
look at
bat.
that.
Most snakes swallow their prey head first.
Man, this is awesome, man. This is just incredible.
That was a good-sized bat. Look at the lump in that snake.
The bigger the boa, the larger the prey. A full-grown boa can digest a 2¼ kilo mammal. But with much easier pickings, this boa is quite content.
He's actually going to use that branch as he crawls up over it to help force that bat down into his belly.
Yeah, a little bit of friction and pressure in all the right places. That bat will slide down like an oyster.
You do this like almost every night?
Once a week. I have the best job in the world.
I was gonna say, no,
This looks like something out of a horror movie.
The python hunters hit Louisiana. They take stock of the animals after Hurricane Katrina.
Sean, man, good find.
that's a sexy snake.
And discover reptiles invading homes.
Oh my God. Oh no.
A bayou teeming with snakes.
Cottonmouth right here.
And colossal alligators.
That's a monster right there.
They're on the hunt for anything that slithers. Invasive reptiles threaten Florida's wetlands. Iguanas, Nile monitors, and the most notorious of all, the giant Burmese python.
Snake, there's a berm right there.
Oh, yeah.
Now 3 men join forces to defend the Everglades. Biologist Sean Heffleck. He's been chasing, breeding, and collecting reptiles his entire life.
I've never been afraid of snakes.
Exotic reptile breeder and cop Greg Graziani. He knows his pythons inside and out.
I got my first Burmese python when I was 12 years old.
And python breeding pro Michael Cole. He sold his designer color mutations for as much as $25,000.
I've learned about reptiles the hard way. It was a passion.
They are the Python Hunters.
Guys, I got a Burrow. He's alive.
He's very much alive.
So far, the guys have tracked down and captured dozens of Burmese pythons and other exotic reptiles.
Look at that.
But cold weather is descending on Florida, forcing snakes and lizards to take cover.
Finding a snake in this stuff is like...
It's like finding a python in Canada. Again. Is there an Nile monitor up there?
He almost ate it.
Frosty weather is a serious problem for all of Florida's cold-blooded creatures, and it puts a freeze on our hunters' passion, catching berms.
You know, we've caught Niles, berms, iguanas. But all we're catching out here in this weather is a bad case of the sniffles.
I hear you.
We're just spinning our wheels out here.
Oh, we're wasting our time, man. We need to come back when it's warmer.
I say we wrap it.
With hunting on hold, the guys take the opportunity to leave Florida for vital research.
Sean, you think you can make some calls to Louisiana? You've got some connections with a biologist up there doing some studies.
I'm game. Let's go get in some trouble in Louisiana.
In 1992, Hurricane Andrew caused 900 Burmese pythons to be released into Florida's Everglades. When Hurricane Katrina slammed the coastline of nearby Louisiana, the destruction was even worse. 600,000 animals, including many exotic pet snakes and reptiles, were washed out into the wild. Now the python hunters want to know what happened to them and the native species that once thrived in these bayous.
This whole neighborhood, there's only 1 out of every 6 houses that's got people in it.
In 2005, Hurricane Katrina came ashore on the Mississippi Delta, killing over 1,800 people.
We've got 30, 40 yards, and there are 5 homes that are demolished, and there's no one living in them.
2 days after the hurricane hit, 80% of New Orleans was underwater, leaving over 50,000 pets to fend for themselves.
Well, let's get out and look at this a little bit.
When the levees broke, this area, known as the 9th Ward, was the hardest hit.
This looks like something out of a horror movie. Just apocalyptic. This is so overgrown in the last 5 years. This could be another wetlands again.
be a great place for the animals to come back into.
They're here looking for any signs of animal life.
I remember during Katrina, as the waters were rising, the snakes were trying to get in the homes and rodents and all of this wildlife because houses were the last high ground left.
But they're discovering this place is a dead zone.
One of the things we heard, you know, just because it's what we do, is that people release their pythons and boas out here. And just looking at the landscape, I mean, there's really not enough cover for these animals to hide during the winter. So the odds 5 years later of any of those animals being around here are slim to none.
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. All of this was 20 feet underwater, rushing like a, you know, just a mad, out-of-control river. As good a swimmer as boas and Burmese are, well, they can't swim for 24 hours straight in calm water.
A lot of death and destruction.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's the difference between the Everglades. You know, we didn't have the floods.
Strange.
To find out just how far this devastation extends, the hunters cross Lake Pontchartrain to a famous wildlife refuge.
And then we're gonna get on this airboat, run about 35, 40 miles an hour. Rub the white gator for luck so we find something good. Everybody got to rub the gator.
That's our good juju.
There you go.
Using their connections with Louisiana's Fish and Wildlife Department, they get a hold of Dan Burrow at Big Branch Marsh.
Danny?
Hey.
How you doing? I'm Sean.
Hey, Sean. Nice to meet you.
What do you got in store for us today?
Well, what I'd hope to take you out into the marsh and show you some of the challenges we faced because of Hurricane Katrina and just basic management of the refuge.
Yeah, let's hit the boats.
All right, thumbs up when y'all are ready.
This 6,900 hectare wildlife reserve was drowned in 5 meters of water by Katrina.
We've had several portions of the refuge that got hit hard. We've had a lot of issues that we've had to fight, but we can still see the light at the end of the tunnel as long as we don't have any other major catastrophic hurricanes.
As hunters of invasive species, the guys want to know which ones threaten the bayou.
Do you have any issues with nutria coming in here?
Nutria are large rodents native to South America. They can weigh up to 9 kilos and grow over 1/3 of a meter.
We do have nutria out here. They eat several times their body weight. They reproduce multiple times during the year. And so we're glad that we have alligators to help control them.
We have the alligators as the apex predators in Florida as well.
Like the Burmese python in Florida, nutria populations exploded after the hurricane.
When Hurricane Katrina came through, our alligator population got dwindled. Not having that predator, our nutria population the next year started to increase.
Another example of non-native species introduction doing damage.
But now, Louisiana's legendary alligators are back at Big Branch Marsh. Next, the investigation turns to another long-term bayou resident hurt by the hurricane, the venomous water moccasin.
Let's hit that island you talked about, Danny, with all the potential snakes.
Okay. Hold on! Okay, I've had too many run-ins with snakes in my youth, so
let the games begin.
Jump ahead.
Look at this. Something's eating a moorhen. That's fresh, too. Look at this. The head's ripped off and eaten. This is so fresh, it doesn't smell at all. It's making me hungry. Put it down.
Greg.
Yeah?
You got a burrow over here of some kind.
Let's see what you got.
Michael's used to getting bit by aggressive pythons, but being struck by a venomous snake isn't something he wants to risk.
Just going down on the water line, that's
Could have been a hog. He'd just stick his snout right down in there, make that hole, and suck up a grub.
Oh, well, back to the snake hunt.
Snake! Keep talking. Here.
Water snake, that's cottonmouth.
Right here.
It's cottonmouth. I can tell by the back end.
There we go. Look at that. Look at the bands on that. Look at that.
Sean, man, good find.
Look at how fat and healthy this thing is. Pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, sweetie. Look at the pit on this thing's upper lip.
Snakes have heat-sensing pits that allow them to home in on the heat coming from their prey.
Really spectacular.
That is awesome.
Cottonmouths, or water moccasins as they're formally known, have hemotoxic venom, it's capable of destroying massive amounts of tissue and muscle. So handling these snakes is for experts only.
Look at the eye. There is like a golden outline around the pupil.
When he turns his face towards you, that's just power in that face.
That's a sexy snake. I am sweating like a stuck pig.
I'm the same way. I got sweat boiling off of me.
First venomous in Louisiana.
Hey, that's my phone. You guys leave me holding a cottonmouth and just head off for something better.
Within minutes, the python hunters already have their second catch.
Did you idea yet?
Yeah, the water moccasin. I almost groined myself. I slapped my face with a branch, and running through soggy, boggy soil makes me realize I'm not 20 years old anymore.
You know, U.S. Fish and Wildlife yells out they got a snake, and 2 guys are gone. I'm holding a cottonmouth.
So how do you keep finding them out here?
They hang out in the sun near the brush where they can hide, and you know, they're either curled up or just trying to sun themselves.
Oh,
let him sit, let him sit. He's pretty.
The moccasin?
Yeah, little juvenile water moccasin.
Look how dark he is. He still has the juvenile banding, but ours, you know, not all of them, but most of ours at this age are highly banded, and this guy's really subdued. Mikey, are you,
No, I'm not.
You're not the one?
Nope. Promised my wife. And for now, until Bodie's out of the house, I'm very happy to watch you guys handle these professionally and enjoy taking pictures and all that other stuff.
Michael's passionate about preserving this snake's wetland habitat, but actually handling the snake is not a part of his conservation plan.
You got to respect Michael, you know, for the decision that he made, because it's a decision for him, it's a decision for the family, and it doesn't make him weak or wimpy or anything. You know, he's made a decision, and he's stuck by that for his family.
Nothing wrong with all that. By the way, he's gone.
Yeah,
Where did he go?
His tail is right here. If we tap this tail, I bet you he'll totally suck everything in and be gone under that leaf litter. As an ambush predator, that animal sitting under that leaf litter with just his head sticking out would be invisible to a small rodent, a lizard, a frog, you know, anything that comes through. There he goes, boom.
Like a jack-in-the-box.
With no desire to chase down the heavy hitters, Michael delights in a creature more likely to lose a limb of its own.
That's a salamander.
Salamander?
No, it is a skink.
Skink.
It's a skink, yep. If it gets a chance, you get a hold of that tail, it will drop it, and it will run, and the tail will just sit there and wiggle. So you guys catch those big, bad cottonmouths, and I got me a skink.
But the hunt's not over yet. This island is slithering with snakes.
Huge cottonmouth! Huge cottonmouth!
Ooh, bye, little buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Look at this.
Woo! Oh,
Look at
yeah.
that baby.
That's a monster.
It's got a...
The python hunters' investigation of Louisiana's swamplands is exceeding their expectations.
Here, watch your hand. I'm pulling right through here.
I got him.
All right, I got him. All right, hook coming out. It's got food in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's got something in its belly.
He's lethargic due to the cold weather and the large meal he's got in him right now.
I tell you, as jazzed as I am about this big, beautiful animal, I want to let it digest its meal and go about her business.
Yeah, I agree.
That is very cool.
All right. Little wood frog. Yeah, beautiful little native guy.
Snake!
Another one?
Yeah, water moccasin. Greg!
Hear ya!
Yeah, let him run through there. Let him run through there. Let him run through there. I got it. I got it.
I got a stick now.
Sean, man, good find.
Water moccasins are one of 7 species of venomous snakes found in Louisiana.
That's the white cottony.
Yeah.
Up top, you can see the fangs kind of gently bent back, covered in the sheath.
This isolated island has become a safe haven for a species recovering from the devastation of Hurricane Katrina.
I need to let you go about your business. Come on, little one. You've got a nice kind of tidal mud flat right here. A lot of frogs, a lot of stuff to eat. This is the perfect habitat for that guy.
You know, I know we don't have a schedule, but this man here's on the job.
I'm coming.
We could leave you out here and you'd have to swim through the gators to get back.
I'm good with that. Now you're talking my tune. I could spend a week or 2 out here just on this island.
I think next time we got to come here, we'll just camp.
You know, the muck, the water, the swamp, the snakes, gators. I had a good time.
After their visit to the 9th Ward, the hunters thought Katrina struck a death blow to Louisiana's wildlife. But to their surprise, with the help of men like Dan Burrow, the state's remote bayous are not only surviving, they're thriving.
We ready? You got the directions and everything?
Yeah, you missed a spot on the back window.
Wildlife's doing well in the bayou, but Hurricane Katrina displaced an estimated 250,000 pets in urban areas. Some of them may still be on the loose, and the python hunters are about to meet a man who catches them.
All right, so heading to Dave Milliken. He runs a rescue and goes on, you know, calls.
How you doing?
What's up, fellas? Welcome to Louisiana.
Yeah. We're enjoying it so far.
Good.
Really nice. What is it exactly that you do?
I'm a nuisance control operator for the state of Louisiana. I work for myself, got my own business, and it's all about catching nuisance animals. Everything but cats and dogs. Let's go take a look at some things. I got plenty of animals. This we got a bunch of different Louisiana natives, which I believe they're all native to Florida, too. And these were all caught and captured out of people's homes, too.
Yeah, it's a big animal. When you look at their heads, what do they look like?
An anaconda.
An anaconda. They got that short, massive head.
The most impressive thing I found about the mud snake is that spike on the end of the tail that they use to hold down their slimy prey.
I think I've fallen in love all over again.
Check this guy out. I mean, this is a real close relative to our Florida king. The one thing I've noticed on this guy, though, is texture's a little bit different. They're smoother.
First one I held, I noticed that right away, too. This is the yellow-bellied water snake. Just like our water snakes, people confuse these for water moccasins. And when they get agitated, people kill these things wantonly. It's unfortunate because these things are harmless.
This is yours?
Yeah.
You're ringing.
Wildlife control.
Yes, I just went to my garage and I have a huge snake in my garage. It's huge. I just saw it. It's huge. I don't know, 10 feet. How soon can you get here?
We're gonna head there right now. Y'all wanna go?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go check it out. Let's go see.
Dave has been known to get up to 10 calls a day. With so many animals on the loose, many of them end up on people's property.
Lose them now.
How big is the snake, ma'am? Huge, just a monster, huh?
10 feet long.
Where did you see it?
In the full pump.
Cold-blooded reptiles need heat sources to raise their body temperature, to move around, hunt, and digest their prey.
That pool pump, that's a heat source, that's a motor that's running.
But what started as a simple snake extraction takes an unexpected turn.
Can you show us?
Oh my God, it's gone. Oh no. Oh.
It was in here, though.
Yes.
Nah, you see that? Nice big hole. Yeah. Large snake go through this lattice.
Moving out of here.
You got another heat source over here. You got another heat source over here, the hot tub.
What you got?
A hot tub over here.
A hot tub?
Could be another heat source. No, it's good and clean up here. No places to hide or anything.
Be careful poking around, guys. Anything could be under here.
You know this lady at all?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to freak her out, but she left the back door open. Damn snake could be inside.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell her that just yet.
All right.
All kinds of debris under here, like old timbers and extra bricks and lawn chairs and all kinds of stuff.
Hey, I got the tail of a berm right here, man, an albino.
He's in this lawn chair.
Got him?
Yeah, he's under a bunch of debris in here.
It's an albino.
Oh, somebody's pet, huh? Here I come. Where's it at?
Hold on, let's see. I'll make sure he can't get under this pool. I got the head. It's coming back to me. Coming back to me.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Albino berms have red eyes and lighter skin than normal Burmese pythons because they lack the darker pigment melanin. This unique lack of camouflage makes them vulnerable to predators in the wild, but popular as pets.
Oh, he's cold.
He's cold. He's real cold.
Well, I can tell you what this guy was just using his heat-sensing pits for. He was finding that pool pump because it was putting off heat.
That's right.
And he's in serious need of it.
This python's heat-sensing pits clearly stand out against the snake's pale coloring.
That's way too pretty to be living out here an extensive amount of time.
This animal's lucky this homeowner saw him and called you, Dave, because it wouldn't last much longer out here with these temperatures.
A cold-blooded tropical snake like the Burmese python can't survive Louisiana's winter months.
Let's get him out of here.
Because the state lies further north than Florida, low temperatures here average a frigid 4.4 degrees. That's over 5½ degrees colder than in the Everglades.
This thing's actually beautiful. Look how solid it is.
Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, it's too big. Oh, God. Oh.
If we could be so bold, we'd like to stretch this animal out and we'll hold its head. And if you just touch this animal,
think so.
You sure?
Positive.
Look how far away.
Absolutely positive. I do not want to touch it.
Look how far away you can stand from the head while I'll secure this head and you just touch it.
I have never touched a snake in my whole life living in Louisiana. I've never touched one. I don't think I want to.
And today is your lucky day.
Ooh, it is soft.
Yeah, look at that.
That's good.
Congratulations. Another convert. Before you know it, you're going to be out here wrangling snakes, putting them in buckets, and then you're just going to call Dave and say, hey, I got another one. It's all wrangled for you. All you got to do is pick it up.
Never in a million years. Never.
Sean may have put some of Diane's fears to rest, but she's not a convert just yet.
They're comfortable with the snakes, and that's good. I'm glad there are people like that because I'm not. It's not a relief, it's hallelujah, you know, that it's gone.
Are you interested in providing this a temporary home until we can find its owner?
Hasn't anything I said this whole time made any sense to you? You're a snake lover.
He's a little thick. He just doesn't get it sometimes. So, you know, we'll take him and the steak with us.
Good. Thank y'all so much.
Don't always happen like this.
No.
Especially with snakes. Within the last year or so, I probably caught about a dozen pythons and boas.
Do you think that people let them go, or do you think they were released, you know, inadvertently by the destruction of the hurricane?
It's a combination. I've had actually people admit to me that before they left, before they evacuated, they opened their cages and just left.
The python hunters' animal rescue with Dave and their discoveries in the bayou with Dan suggest Louisiana's reptiles are resilient. Now they want hard numbers, not from the swamp, but from a road that runs through it.
We know how it's done in Florida. Let's go see how them boys in Louisiana do it.
The python hunters have found a scientist who's been studying local snake populations.
Good. So you guys are the snake professors?
Yes.
Outstanding.
For the past 7 years, Dr. Cliff Fontenot has been collecting reptiles along a highway that cuts through prime snake territory. The data he collects measures fluctuations in populations before and after major weather disturbances.
Hey, this is good stuff, guys. We do the same thing in Florida. A lot of highway cruising, just cruising along the roads, looking for dead snakes or live snakes, or whatever we can find.
So what kind of changes did you see after Katrina?
At the time, the numbers were really low that we were getting per trip. The day after Katrina, it was 10 times as high.
Wow.
It's flooded everywhere, and they've got nowhere to go except the high ground associated with the road. It looks like it takes about 3 years for numbers to go back down to originals.
So when's the last time that you guys actually picked up either roadkill or live off of this stretch of road?
Last night, one dead one.
I knew I'd like this guy. Roadkill aficionado, snake lover. It doesn't get any better than that right there.
Home brewer.
Home brewer. Yeah. It just gets better and better.
If Cliff's past results continue to hold, there's a good chance of finding snakes tonight.
Snake, snake, snake. Snakes. What's that? Look fat like a little mud snake.
I got out first.
I don't think it was that far, was it? Right there?
Look!
Is it a mud?
But the team's elation is a little premature.
What is that?
Piece of tire.
It's not a snake, just some rubber tread.
Be careful, the wires on here will prick you.
We'll see.
Sean, good eye, man, good eye.
That was a bummer, huh?
Moving. Snake, snake, snake.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Little juvenile rat snake. Fresh and delicious.
On your measurements, do you guys take sex?
Yeah, whenever it's possible.
We have a professional that sexes dead snakes. He does it by taste.
No.
Well, that's one, right? We know something's moving.
That's a good sign early on.
Let's load up and find more stuff. Okay. Ryan, good spot.
Asphalt must seem like a warm blanket to a cold-blooded reptile. But this young rat snake picked the wrong spot to raise its body temperature.
What kind of temp differential did you have with air and ground?
So the air was around 15 degrees Celsius and the concrete, the pavement, was around 25. Usually at night, the air cools down faster and the pavement stays warmer longer. And since they are cold-blooded species, they come out here to warm up and then they might go back off and they're at the hunt.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's snake. Snake, there's a dead snake. Pretty sure it was already dead. It was right on the line. Woo, a little more squishy than the last.
Now it's severed the spine completely.
Yeah.
This roadkill is a harmless banded water snake, but it's a dead ringer for a species people fear.
Is this typical for your banded water snakes?
It looks a little bit like the cottonmouths. And the cottonmouths are the main poisonous snake here, really the only one found in this specific area.
Yeah, we see the same exact thing. These things really take the brunt of the persecution for the water moccasin for those exact reasons.
Well, let's bag this one and keep moving. Maybe we can find something alive.
All right, sounds good.
Another 2 kilometers, and at last, the hunters find something that can still slither.
Snake, snake, snake.
Thanks.
Look at that, look at that.
King snake.
That is just a really beautiful snake. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind roadkill, but this is what I came here for.
The king snake gets its regal name because it can overpower and eat other snakes, even venomous ones like rattlers. Like a python, it strangles its prey.
Down south, a Florida king snake's kind of like the prize.
We catch these very, very few often, so it's you guys got here a lucky night to get
2 Irishmen in the van tonight? That's all it took.
King snakes are on the decline in both Louisiana and Florida due to habitat loss. Finding one here is a good sign the population could be on the rebound.
So when you guys find a specimen like this, do you typically take it back to the lab for more study on it or release it here on the roadside?
Back in the lab, we'll do a scale clip to put a unique mark so that if we find that snake again, we know that we've caught that one before.
We take the data that we need and we come back and release them at the same exact point so this snake can go carry on with its own life again.
Good find, good find.
This encounter leaves the python hunters hungry for more action.
I got a hook.
Yeah, let me grab my hook.
Cliff agrees to take them off the beaten track and into the bayou.
So this is the forested swamp right here. The rat snakes are more common here. The rough green snakes are more common here.
So basically our search pattern is from the ground all the way up.
All the way up, yes.
Hey guys, I got a rat snake over here.
Sweet.
Look at him coming around. That is just awesome.
Nice.
He doesn't make climbing up this tree look any difficult than climbing across the ground.
Look at this, just 2 limb scars, just using them as leverage.
Rat snakes are non-venomous constrictors with extraordinary climbing skills. Their voracious appetite for both rodents and chicken eggs makes them a mixed blessing for Louisiana farmers.
Look at this, he's gonna stretch over to that other tree.
This is what makes him so efficient. He can sit at any level and grab prey.
They're so captivated by the nimble rat snake.
What do you think?
They don't even notice the swamp literally swallowing up one of their camera crew.
Wow, Harry. There he goes, new angle, and nobody even looks at him. Everybody's looking at the snake, and he's getting shorter.
Looks like we got some quicksand over here, boys.
The python hunters would spend all night in this bayou looking for snakes if it weren't for the threat of sinking in quicksand.
Hey, thanks for that. That was a good time.
That was great, man. That king snake was awesome.
You guys take care, and good luck. Keep us posted on the study and how it's going. All right?
It's time to get up close and personal with a reptile of a different sort and size. Louisiana is home to almost 2 million alligators, more than anywhere else in North America. They're the same species as the ones in the Everglades, but these Cajun gators are larger and heavier. Sean and Greg head to Louisiana's oldest alligator farm to see just how different they are, but also for another more personal reason.
You know, we're headed over to Culvert, which is rumored to where the blue gators are coming from. And you're supposed to have one there.
I'm hoping that it's larger, it's blue, and it's a male. That's what we need.
Fingers crossed.
The blue is among the rarest alligators in the world. A unique mutation gives its skin a distinct blue color when it's a juvenile. Sean and Greg care for 2 of the only known blues to exist in private hands. But there's a problem. Both of their blues are females.
Well, this is interesting because supposedly he's breeding these at his farm. Mr. Culvert? Yeah. How are you? I'm Sean Heffleck, Greg Graziani.
They've recently heard the farm's owner, Harvey Culvert, might actually have a male.
How you doing today?
Oh, doing all right.
But first, they've got to convince him to let them see his blue gator.
We hear you have some interesting alligators here.
Yeah.
We've been hearing about these blue alligators in Louisiana.
I got a big mama blue alligator that lays the blue alligator eggs. They don't have an alligator eye. They got black eye.
Different eyes.
Down cat.
Well, if it's not too much trouble, we're dying to see that blue alligator.
I got pictures when they was hatched. Y'all go see them?
Yes.
Now this is when it was coming out, was first hatched.
Oh, wow, look at that. Different. Look at the eyes on that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the
He
eyes.
still got the same eye right now.
Very cool. We've seen the pictures. Now we want to see the live one. If that wouldn't be too much trouble.
No, ain't no trouble at all. I want to show you how we raise them and all, do.
Louisiana's alligator farms started as a small industry in 1957. Now, they harvest 170,000 alligators a year, a trade valued at over $12 million.
Harvey Culvert, he's a character.
Definitely you get that Louisiana feeling when you're down here, when you're talking to them. It's slower. Some people may mistake that for ignorance, but make no mistake, this guy's been doing this for almost 60 years.
That's how we grew ours out.
But looking around, Sean and Greg notice this isn't your average alligator farm.
What's the largest gator you have here? You know?
Oh, probably 15 foot. Well, I'll say if I had to guess, close to 3,000 pounds.
Yeah.
The females get a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Large adult American alligators usually weigh around 360 kilos, so this animal is almost 4 times heavier.
You can look at these kids till they're getting old. You see how he bit up on his tail?
Yeah, she's missing the tip of her tail, too.
She tried to get away, and he won't let her get away.
That's a monster right there.
Wow, that is huge.
That is an impressive alligator.
The heads on these things are massive. So some of these alligators are from the 50s when you started.
Yeah, the whole pond's from the 50s.
I don't think there's anything in Florida as big as these things.
No. I want to go inside and see that monster.
Let's go. We'll go look at him. Don't get scared and go pet him now.
Sean and Greg are about to come face to face with some of the largest gators they've ever encountered.
Wow, that is massive.
He ain't gonna move, he gonna stay there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my fault.
Look at the jowls on him, Greg.
This is massive.
An alligator's huge tail accounts for nearly half its length. It uses it to push itself quickly through the water but also as a weapon.
That's a big animal.
I mean,
He's been around a long time.
his leg is about 8 inches across.
If this guy decided to slap his tail, he's gonna take my head off. And if we'd walked up on him first, we probably would have said, this boy's ruling this place.
Yeah.
But after seeing that tank that went in the water and that one over there whose back foot's twice as big as this one,
Yeah.
this poor old boy, he ain't got nothing on them. I just want to give him a big hug.
And I haven't seen gators as big as that. Now, we haven't put a tape measure on any of those things, but he's got some of the biggest alligators I've ever seen.
Those two animals that we saw were Goliath. All this talk about your operation, all the gators, still got me wanting to see that blue gator. We gonna take a look at that thing?
Yeah, let's go look at him.
All right.
Finally, Harvey agrees to break out the prize.
So let's take a look at what we came here for. Is that that blue alligator? Here we go.
Where's that blue?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the eyes, yeah. Dark.
He still got some blue on him.
Yeah.
Is this a male, a female, or?
He's a male.
A male is just what these matchmakers are looking for, to breed with their females.
And how old is this little beast? 4 or 5 years?
This is about maybe 7, 8 years old.
7, 8? Just trying to look at that picture you had of the baby, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was all blue up in here, blue here.
He still got the little blue on his jaw.
Well, you can catch a little bit in that jaw, but as compared to the baby, in the hatchling in that photo, he's lost all the blue in his throat.
Yeah, and light fingers.
Yeah, toenails are deep.
Most people wouldn't notice such small points. But for breeders like Greg and Sean, these details make or break the deal.
What's an animal like this go for?
Don't know. I mean, just let them make an offer.
Is there anybody interested right now?
Yeah, I got a couple people who want to buy them.
Right. So you might have a couple more people interested.
This gator's eye, nail, and skin colors are called mutations. Unique features that make it different from normal alligators. But doubt is setting in.
I don't think that animal is the same mutation as what we are calling the blue alligator.
I think it's different. That is like a black doll's eye. It's just totally different. That one does not have any signs of blue really on it. That is a different mutation. I will lay money on it.
With none of the defining traits shared by Sean and Greg's blues, they feel Harvey's animal isn't suitable mating material.
Mr. Cleaver, I got to thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming.
I'll tell you what, when you get a little bit of time, why don't you come see us in Florida? We'll take you hunting some Burmese pythons in the Everglades.
Can I use my rifle?
Yeah, it's season, yeah.
You sure can.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure. Thanks.
Although they're disappointed they didn't get their blue, the visit was still worth it.
Overall, I'm real happy about meeting him and you know, seeing his farm and the animals that are there. And
that one was a monster.
It was huge. It was a good trip. Definitely educational for us.
With a memorable adventure behind them, Sean and Greg head to New Orleans to join Michael for a taste of something that might have come from Harvey's farm.
It's all about, man. Good people, good food.
These frog kickers are good eating.
Gator's good as well.
All right, so I got to know, what happened to the Clee Bears?
Some of the biggest gators we've ever seen. Blow anything out of the water we've seen in Florida on exhibit.
Really?
These things were big.
We're talking about a rear foot like this.
I thought you were going to say a tail.
No. The rear foot.
The tail was more like this.
Here, guys, here's to a good day in Louisiana.
Salud.
The python hunters are just about to wrap up their Louisiana excursion when they get an unexpected call. An alligator's on the loose.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hey, Dave, how are you?
All right, man, what's up?
Good stuff.
I just got a call. The lady's got she said about a 5, maybe 6 foot alligator in her garage, stopping her from getting in her car.
This sounds like our kind of deal. Here.
Let's do it. Follow me.
Yeah. All right, man.
Wonder how big it is.
If it's a hatchling, it's all you, Mikey.
Ooh, geez, thanks. I can handle a hatchling gator.
However-
You're gonna allow me to?
However, let me say right now that if there is any kind of genetic mutation, I'm on.
I got it. I got dibs. Here she is. She's on her way out. Yep. Yep. What do we got?
She says we got an alligator in the ditch.
Louisiana has nearly half of all the wetlands in the lower 48 states. Not surprisingly, the American alligator is the state's official reptile. That keeps men like Dave busy capturing any that stray too close to humans.
Where's the last time you saw it?
I was trying to get the mail out of the mailbox, and its head popped out of the culvert, and it looked probably a whole lot bigger than it is, but it looked huge to me.
Once they learn the location, the python hunters waste no time.
Did you see which way it went?
Yeah, it's closer to Mikey on there.
Yeah, he's over here.
See it?
Yeah.
About
How big?
I don't know. Huge.
Sean, that's definitely you.
That's got my name on it.
I'll hold your feet. Make sure you don't drown.
Hell, Sean can stand up in that hole. So, Sean, have you ever wrestled a gator in a little old hole like that?
I'll bet you the answer is yes, because he's done everything.
I gotta say, I've never culvert wrestled an alligator.
This ought to be good then.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was thinking, this is your neck of the woods, and usually when I go places, I have a local guide. So I think I'm gonna follow right on your right shoulder into that culvert.
Nah, that gator can stay there.
I think he just volunteered you, too.
Well, I guess it's unanimous. We didn't get to draw straws. We didn't get any of that.
You are the short straw.
Yeah, you're the short straw no matter where we go.
All right, well, I'm telling you, I bought that new head cam, and I'm gonna get something out of this.
You bought a new head cam?
Get this thing, get this over with.
But while Sean is designated the man with the plan, Greg and Michael hatch one of their own.
Greg, that gator's not gonna sit there. He's gonna come out the other side. Let's let him get his ass good and wet. We'll just grab it when it comes out the other side.
I was wondering why y'all was gonna send him in there.
I hear whispers and giggling.
What are you talking
He was
about?
jumping about a bee.
Yeah.
That bee that chased him earlier? That was funny stuff.
Hey, y'all some bull-faced liars, I'll tell you that right now.
You need a light?
Why, you got your iPhone? Got one of the flashlights on it?
I ain't giving you my phone.
I promise won't get wet.
Yeah, I've seen you not get stuff wet before.
All right, let's go, Commando.
Let's go, girly man. Come on.
This is unfamiliar territory for a python hunter. Sean's tangled with gators before, but never in such a tight space.
Holy cow, that's cold. What's that saying, Greg, about being tough? You gotta be dumb, you gotta be tough.
That is some bull junk. Oh no! What are you doing? Get off my gas! Get off my gator! Get off my alligator.
That was pretty good, man. I can't believe you did that.
That's how we roll in Florida.
That's exactly how we roll. 2 dry, 1 wet.
I think that's why y'all got more bite cases in Florida.
So what do you think?
Well, he's not as big as I said he was, is he?
Working in law enforcement, I've handled a lot of robberies, and people always tell me the gun was this big. That's all I saw. They couldn't give me a description of the bad guy, just the giant
You're seeing
gun.
him with his mouth closed. You should have seen him with his mouth wide open.
Looks something like this.
No, it was a lot bigger.
He's shrunk.
Are you absolutely crazy?
You want to touch his tail?
You don't have to ask that question. Didn't you just see him come out of the pipe?
I did, and he's all wet and muddy.
Listen, all over you,
soft.
Sean.
I didn't expect it to be.
All he wanted to do was get away. I mean, you got in the water and he came right towards us because you were the biggest threat.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get out of Dodge, and that's what they usually do.
This guy looks like he's under the limit, so this can be a relocated animal, can it?
Yeah, we're gonna just get him back into the local water system.
Okay.
A little further away from people's homes, of course, but we're gonna get him back out there.
The guys used this opportunity to examine their wild captive and make a discovery.
Hey guys, you notice the nail color on this animal?
Yes, light.
Clear. And
Clear.
The eyes.
The eyes are very similar to the blue gators that we're working with down there.
But I'm wondering, I don't know how much of a mutation that is as much as it is a geographic range.
Let me go ahead and grab a sack to put them in.
Yeah, you got them. That'd be good.
A released alligator can be stubborn and often return to the same place it was captured. But if it's young enough, like this one, relocation to a suitable habitat usually works.
It was a pleasure crawling through your ditch.
Oh, thank you so much. Guys, I am so grateful. Thank you so much for hooking me up. You guys are the bomb.
After trekking through bayous, highways, and sewer drains, the hunters returned to New Orleans for some final R&R.
Come Mardi Gras, that'd be a great balcony to be standing on.
They even end up finding more pythons in unlikely places.
No, that's a headdress. Look at that.
You don't suck shrimp head, you suck crawfish heads.
I suck it all, man. It's all good.
That's New Orleans hospitality for you. And gives you a $5 prawn right on the side of the road.
Nice being normal.
But playtime comes to an end when Sean gets troubling news from home.
I don't understand what your text message about. Are you saying the heater went out in our house? Yeah, that's an emergency. We've got animals, and not to mention humans. So, all right, well, keep me posted, all right?
Florida's been hit with the earliest frost in 150 years. To make matters worse, the heating unit's broken at Sean's place.
You can come out later tonight when it gets dark and do a temperature check on them.
His son Thorne and wife Jen have had to cover the iguana's outdoor cage with plastic to insulate the animals. But suddenly, things get worse. Florida's cold snap plunges even lower. Sean, Greg, and Michael are in danger of losing all their reptiles.
I think we're getting to the end of our rope.
Yeah, I think it just came to a screeching halt.
Yeah, I gotta get home.
Just as a reminder of that checklist, the tortoises, the iguanas, the heater's on.
Hey, honey, I saw the weather's getting cold. 52 last night.
Potential disaster is looming, and the sooner they get back to Florida, the better.
Hey, guys. Hey. Hey, Jake. Hello. Hey, honey.
Michael's concerned for the dozens of reptiles he has caged outdoors.
So all this cold prep that we did to make sure that everybody was going to be okay, it's working fine. But you got everybody inside okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was late in the day, you know, but I gathered everybody up I could and got them inside.
Fortunately, Michael's prized ball pythons are safely stored in his heated facility. One of his snakes even has a little extra energy to burn.
Oh. That's what he does. That's what he does.
Well,
see? I don't want it to be me. I don't want it to be me the one time he does hit something.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, honey.
All right, there, buddy. There's a pretty girl.
Sean's broken heater threatened all his animals, but his wife Jen was able to get it fixed in time.
I'm glad you guys brought these things in, because I was worried about them.
They seem to like it here.
Yeah, they're doing good. They look good.
Greg's adult alligators tolerate the cold better than the vegetation.
Can't believe how quick those plants got hit. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing it is winter, because those are our shade plants for the albinos.
But he gets a glimpse at just how cold things did get.
It's a little cold,
A little cold. It looks like Tennessee up north, yeah.
I'm glad Dad brought the tortoises in. They would have been frozen.
Wow, that is really cold. Hey, baby, thanks for taking care of it for me while I was gone.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you too.
Their own animals are doing fine, but now the python hunters' thoughts turn to the reptiles living in the wild.
You know, I'd be really, really surprised to see anything today. As cool as it is out here.
But they face this challenge armed with new information.
Sunspot, but
We may find some indigenous stuff that, in a protected area or a windbreak or something in the sun, but pythons, I doubt it.
Louisiana showed them that nature is resilient, even in the most devastating situations. But this early cold snap coming on top of last year's deep freeze just might be enough to wipe out the Burmese python once and for all. One thing's certain, it's put an end to this day's hunt.
Is this weather we're having here in Florida, the chances of us finding snakes are getting slimmer and slimmer.
You know, I think you're definitely right. The Burmese pythons, if we get enough freezes to come in here and help, maybe we can get them gone.
Yeah, well, if we get enough freezes to wipe out Burmese python, it may drive me farther south as well. I say we wrap it.
There's something moving up in front of us.
That's the berm. That's the berm. Right there, Greg, get there.
Next on Python Hunters.
Look at the injuries to that animal.
This dude is not happy.
The hunters get struck, stuck, and splooged. Trying to uncover how a once-in-a-lifetime weather event
This is not looking good for the berm.
could impact the python population in the Everglades.
Something was eating it alive.
Burmese pythons have invaded Florida. To eradicate them, the state's issued 15 special permits to snake experts. And these men got permits 1, 2, and 3. Biologist Sean Heffleck has been chasing, studying, and breeding reptiles his entire life.
I have never been afraid of snakes.
Exotic reptile breeder and cop Greg Graziani knows his pythons inside and out.
I got my first Burmese python when I was 12 years old.
Python breeding pro Michael Cole has sold his designer color mutations for as much as $25,000.
I've learned about reptiles the hard way. I didn't go to school for it. It was a passion.
Now, these snake breeders are defending the Everglades. They are the Python Hunters. Recently, reports of python sightings have fallen off sharply. The hunters are investigating why.
Hey guys, I got a berm. Bad shape.
Oh man, something's been eating him.
He's alive.
Oh, he's very much alive.
Look at that.
Ah, look at the injuries to that animal.
Oh my, watch. You got it? Bad
Something literally ate this while it was alive.
While it was alive, couldn't get away.
Wow. Dude, when I looked down, I thought it was a dead berm. Because all I saw was this portion of the tail.
I don't know, it's been chewed on hard.
I mean, big time, almost down to the bone. This animal had some spunk to it.
Yeah,
and
no,
look
when I
how much
grabbed it, it
damage-
took
look how
off.
tough these things
This
are.
is actually truly horrific.
It is, but scientifically very, very interesting. I think this is an incredible find because we are doing research. This isn't about just catching them and removing them. We need to study them, we need to find out what they're doing. Nature does funny things, as you just saw.
This python could have fallen victim to one of the Everglades' most notorious scavengers.
Is this animal bite, Sean?
If you look at the beaks on vultures, they're tough. I mean, they are designed to rip flesh. See this? Boom.
That's
boom,
a mouth.
Yeah,
boom, boom.
that's chunks taken
You
out.
know, just chunks after chunks. I will lay money that when this thing was cold in a catatonic state almost,
Something was picking it.
something just came up and was eating it alive. I want to measure the width and the length of the injuries.
Yeah.
And placements.
He's all messed up.
I'll be honest with you. I'd like to actually set him up and see how well this animal would survive.
With all those scars?
Yeah. An animal to sustain that kind of wound and survive is amazing.
Head temp is 80.8.
It's been laying there for the last 15 minutes, warming up, catching the sun rays, and now it's got enough energy to try to get away again. Look at that. It's ready to go. You gotta get it. You gotta bag it up.
You know, with the severity of those wounds and the fact that there was no necrosis and it had already started to heal itself, that's a good indicator that these animals are resilient. You know, there's a lot that either the environment or man can dish out to them, and they can survive it.
One more gone from the Everglades.
The injured Burm will now get a chance to recover in Greg's lab.
We're going to take care of this snake here and see just how bad the wounds are, because a wound like this for any other animal would normally be fatal. If this animal is able to survive, it's going to let us know that they are a lot tougher than we believe.
The Burmese python evolved in the full tropical climate of Southeast Asia, and it seems to have trouble adapting to Florida's colder weather.
The difference between a cold-blooded animal like this Burmese python and mammals, which are warm-blooded, is this animal cannot regulate its own body temperature. It has to find sunlight during the day to raise its temperature. It will seek the sun, it'll get on hot rocks or pavement, and with the coloration on this skin being very dark pigmented, it absorbs heat extremely quickly, raising the core temperature of this animal. Once that occurs, this animal has the energy to defend itself, hunt, digest, and have its immune system work properly.
Up until now, the South Florida Everglades has proven an ideal territory for the invasive Burmese python. It's kilometer after kilometer of hot, humid, perfect snake habitat. Originally from the jungles of Southeast Asia, the pythons easily travel through the shallow waters of the glades. Perfectly camouflaged, they can disappear into the grassy landscape, ready to ambush one of dozens of local prey species. The hunters want to know what left this highly evolved predator so defenseless that it could be nearly eaten alive. They have a hunch. Florida is experiencing some of its worst weather in almost a half-century, a cold snap. The coldest winter in 30 years means temperatures up to 20 degrees below normal. Crops are freezing on the trees. Cold-blooded animals like snakes are especially vulnerable. Without warm shelter, they risk dying of exposure. And the weather isn't just threatening Florida's alien species population. According to state officials, it's also having a catastrophic effect on native and endangered species.
We have 1,000 manatees that were killed. We found 100 crocodiles, American crocodiles, in their native habitat down here in the saltwater, edge of the saltwater, were killed. The bonefish, the beloved bonefish you go fly fishing for, dead by the thousands. We had to put a closure on snook and tarpon and bonefish.
The cold weather's upon us. It's dipping down, pretty quick now that that's sun setting. We had animals out getting the sun, but once the sun gets off of them, it's just too cold,
Sean and his son Thorn rushed to get their exotic animals under cover. For most of the year, Florida's climate is nearly perfect.
Cold again, I gotta come inside.
For animals that evolved to live in tropical forests, like the Burmese python. But the short winter here can be hard, and this one is the worst in 30 years.
Cover the tortoises up, get them in their hay.
Thorn grew up surrounded by cold-blooded creatures, a willing and able assistant sharing his dad's fascination with reptiles.
They're from Africa, so they typically burrow down where the cold weather can't get to them at night. So we have to cover them up with hay and a blanket.
Got them tucked in?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Now everyone's speculating what the impact of the cold snap has been on the invasive Burmese python.
They don't belong here. They're outside of the range, and the cold will kill them.
It's going to be very interesting to find out how the wild population does.
If I had to, make an educated guess, I'd say that they're going to lose some snakes, and the ones that do survive, it's going to put them in a bad way.
The hunters want to find out how badly the pythons have been hit by the cold. They also want to test a controversial theory on Burmese python spread. A report from the U.S. Geological Survey suggests that these invaders could spread from South Florida across a third of the U.S. The hunters want to know if the cold can stop their spread. For if the pythons can't survive this, then there's little chance of them surviving further north.
Looks like this winter's just gonna present a golden opportunity. They gotta be getting hit hard with this winter, this far north.
The bulk of the pythons that we found down in this area, I think where we need to check is north of 41 and south of 75, which is going to be right in this general area. We've caught a couple of pythons here, but we need to see how far north are they actually going and how many are actually there.
They're heading north, deep into the remote tree island areas of the Everglades. And to get around those parts, they'll need help.
Let me give a call to Captain Sean, see if we can get the use of his airboat. He was raised out here and he's a Gladesman. He can probably knock it all out far easier than we can map it out.
For the guys, hunting in the ever-changing Everglades can be an adventure in navigation. So when they need a Gladesman, they call on Captain Sean Myman.
Gladesman's a person that has a desire and a strong love for the Everglades. There's no secret handshake. It's just a more of a comfort level. You spend enough time out here and it really becomes a part of you. You know, I couldn't imagine life without it.
In the Florida Everglades, species survival is delicately balanced. Here, animals and habitats rely on the water. It may span across 1.5 million acres, but it's only 3 meters at its deepest. The best way to traverse these marshes is by airboat. This flat-bottomed watercraft with a powerful engine is designed to skim the shallow waters. The hunters sit up high with a clear view of any wildlife. And when they spot it, this vessel can turn on a dime. Captain Sean delivers the hunters to a remote tree island area where few people ever tread. The hunters believe it'll have the ideal conditions for pythons.
Hey man, this area over here is perfect. Look at the sunlight coming through here.
Well, there are holes all over the place on this thing for rodents and that.
Let's see what we can find on this while the sun's still hitting us.
Yeah, this is nice.
The hunters are beginning to wonder if any pythons survived the cold snap.
Oh, what you got?
Vertebrae.
That's a good-sized python.
That's bigger than anything we've seen so far. Vertebrae.
Yeah, there's ribs all over the ground here.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, a massive snake.
Look at the width on that.
The size of the rib cage indicates a massive python.
That is going to be a big animal.
Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah.
Skull? What you got?
No, I got jawbone.
He's got bottom jawbone.
Ouch.
Look at those teeth.
I mean, that's a big animal. Potentially, that's 15 foot plus. This might be the biggest snake we've encountered thus far.
The longest Burmese python ever found in the Everglades was just over 5 meters. In the wild, male Burms typically grow to 3 meters and females to 4 meters plus. This one was probably as large as they get, but even at that size, something was able to defeat this giant snake.
Ribs everywhere. Some of them busted.
So what do you think? Something was preying on this snake?
In normal conditions, a snake that size would be formidable. After seeing this, Sean develops a theory. The cold must be hitting the bigger pythons harder, slowing them down, making them easy prey.
Ribs don't just inadvertently break for no reason. They're tough.
Well, you know what? This is all cool, but I'm gonna hunt live snakes. You guys have fun with the bones.
Well, I'm torn. You know how much I love bones.
I'll tell you what, you hang here with your skeleton, and Michael and he's already ahead of us out there in the sunlight where something's gonna be laying.
Okay, if I don't go, y'all ain't gonna catch squat, so I'm gonna go with you so you actually have a hunter with you.
All right, Slowpoke, you ready?
Oh! More pythons.
That's a whole different snake at this distance.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get GPS.
This graveyard holds a lot of data for the hunters on python's survival.
So this thing's been picked clean.
But they're a long way from home and running out of time before sunset.
This is not looking good for the Burms out here. I mean, with this cold front that's come through, we're finding, carcass after carcass here.
The worst part is we're running out of sunlight.
Yeah, well, I'm hurrying here, man.
If you can't keep up, we're gonna have to get a better secretary.
Yeah, well.
The python hunters are adjusting their strategy with the cold temperatures. They're wondering where the snakes could have gone. And to find out, they're taking deep cover.
Oh, dude, go back there. It's a whole big old pit. Maybe it's a... Wow, it's bigger than I thought.
Sinkhole cave or something? Let's check it out. Oh yeah, look at that.
What do we got?
Looks small cave there. Oh yeah, boy. I love caves.
Man, talk about a place where pythons could be hiding out when it gets cold.
Scattered throughout the Everglades are islands known as hammocks. Trees have colonized the top of these slightly raised limestone shelves.
Wow. Incredible.
But the story is sometimes below the surface.
You guys aren't gonna believe this. It's just wide open. It's a beautiful cave. You gotta get down here and check this out.
Oh, this is awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, this is cool. Look at these roots. This is like back in time.
Let's get some temps in here. All right, we're at 54 degrees there. So it's actually, you know, a little bit warmer down in the bottom of this cave. Now, I don't know how much body heat we're throwing off.
What you're gonna find is that because we're underground, the rock, the walls, the dirt acts like a perfect natural insulator.
This is prime real estate for snakes, man.
You know, so if it's 30 degrees outside and it's 54 in here, it's over 20 degrees difference, you know, for the positive. So, you know, this makes for a great little micro-refugia where they can get in and out of the cold and you know, wait for it to pass.
So for those of us without the letters behind our name, can you define micro-refugia?
Yeah, I mean, micro-refugia, you know, just like it sounds, micro, it's a small refuge. You know, it's an area where animals seek to take, you know, seek refuge and safety. So
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, right.
No, when we get above ground, I'm looking it up. I don't believe you.
The hunters know the pythons are out here, seeking heat during this cold snap. But they just can't seem to find them. They head out to the warm, rural roads, hoping their luck will improve.
Oh, wait, snake.
Where?
Back.
Dead. Came across the snake, thought it was alive, it was dead. It was kind of one of those, well, let's get, you know, the information anyway.
It's a berm.
Yeah. Damn it, this is a good-sized berm, too.
That thing's been thumped and rolled on this road.
With the cold, it appears the animal's trying to find as much heat as possible on the roadway.
That's 10 feet, 2.5 inches.
That's a good-sized animal. Yeah, look how skinny it is. What you got, Tim?
69.9.
69.9?
Yeah.
This has been dead for a while.
Yeah.
On the ground, 69.1.
That's more than 6 degrees below normal for a berm. Like all reptiles, pythons can't thermoregulate the way mammals do, so their environment determines their temperature.
Oh, look at that. This snake was sick.
We open up the mouth and we realize that it does appear to have some mucosis in there mixed with some blood due to the cold weather causing the respiratory infection in it.
Look at that. You know what? It looks like that stuff's been coming out of its epiglottis as well. That animal's sick from the cold.
And then it kind of turned comical on us because as we're getting measurements and everything, Sean says to Michael, you know, why don't you get a sex on it?
Male, female, what we got?
Typically in a live snake, you might get a little, you know, a little musk, but, you know, you get the hemipedal inversion, and that's that. You can tell if it's a male or female, and you go on your way. I've never sexed a dead snake before. When I squeezed it, went.
The musk gland just squirts right in his face. The odor coming out of that was horrific. I'm laughing hysterically and gagging at the same time.
The best part is he did it to himself. He just squirted me in the face.
Don't do it.
I thought he was gonna blow chunks.
And he'd go, It was the most hysterical thing.
Dude, I've been musked before. By a dead snake. It was a lesson very well learned for me.
By the taste of things, how old would you say this animal is, Michael?
4.
4. Outstanding.
From my position, it was funny.
Hey, Michael, is it a male or a female? Next person that asks me about that I'm gonna pop in the face.
After being splooged, Michael leaves to get the stench off his face and clothes. Greg and Sean are heading out looking for python survivors.
What?
Real.
Man, don't let him ditch in that water.
He looks a little...
Whoa.
No, this thing is pitiful.
This thing is not moving.
He has absolutely no power. I mean, look at this. He's
dehydrated.
I've never seen a snake this skinny. Look at the pelvic girdle right here is sticking out on this animal.
It looks like he's been mushed by a car. He is so flat. Look at this, Greg. He's like laterally compressed. He's so skinny. He's got no muscle tone.
He's in bad shape.
Let's see if we got any upper respiratory going on here. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at this. See that? Bloody mucosal. Oh, look. He's got a little bit of stomatitis right there. See that? Ooh, look at this. Look at that chunk coming out of the thing.
The snake experts recognize an infection of the mucous membranes, a telltale sign of a depressed immune system and a fatal cold weather malady.
Well, if that's the case, that's due to the cold.
This is really an example, though, of what this extreme cold snap has done. Some of them got hit hard right away. Some of them have upper respiratories and other problems associated with the cold, and they're just fighting.
We've never caught a python in this poor shape. I mean, we got a cold spell coming in right now. This animal...
Nah, he would not be long for this world. Whether we caught him or not, he just wouldn't be around for very long. He's on his way out. With the dead animals we're finding and with the really sick animals from that cold snap, our numbers just went to one side. We were looking at about 50-50 live and dead. Not anymore. Within the last couple of days, we've jacked it way up.
With 68 off the head.
This berm is cold now and will only become colder as the night wears on.
You know, we need to get these out of here, but I hate to see anything suffer like this.
No doubt.
As a biologist, Sean wants to know how wild Burmese pythons cope with below freezing temperatures. He sets up an outdoor study sanctioned by Florida Fish and Wildlife to observe 7 captured constrictors.
They've got plenty of cover. They can get deep down in here, blocks the wind, blocks a lot of the elements, takes the edge off of it, but they're not doing well. We're just a couple days into this study, and they're cold. You know, we're gonna let this project go for a couple more days and ride it out, see what the temperature does out there.
As soon as the sun comes out, the guys do too.
You know, being out these last couple of times, not finding any pythons and very few native reptiles is kind of discouraging at this point.
But the hunters are determined to find signs of life. They know that morning is the best time to see any of the 29 species of snake living in the Everglades.
Slip on that, and you're 3 hours from somebody who can sew a testicle back on.
Even one of the 4 venomous species.
Snake? Yeah? You got him?
You got it.
There we go.
Hey, little buddy. Oh, wow. Is that a black or a blue?
You ever talk about the brown-nosed, blacks?
Yeah.
This species isn't venomous. The black racer is one of the most common native snakes in the Everglades, but this one's in trouble.
Yeah, feel it. He's almost impacted right here, though.
Same species.
Feel that, Sean?
Wow, that's hard.
Isn't it? I'm telling you, if we don't clear that, this animal probably won't survive.
Snakes can swallow prey up to 4 times their own width, whole. Digestion can take days to weeks and requires an incredible amount of the animal's energy. Intestinal impactions can occur when conditions are poor and can be deadly.
Yeah, there's a lot of liquid coming out. I'm just gonna let him go.
I'm gonna let the probe out for a second here.
Oh, that's foul. That's not.
That's some
It's
perfume.
well, it's almost like septic.
Yeah. Well, if he didn't clear this, he'd be dead.
Bit of feces. That's what's just crazy hard. There
How's
you
it
go.
feel to save his life there?
Well, that's good. That's what we
That's
do.
a beautiful animal.
Look how dry this is.
He'd have never passed that. There's no way.
Crazy. The digestive enzymes need a certain temperature to be able to really process it at optimal. And you know, with this cool weather, it's just not getting that. A lot of these snakes aren't, so it caused a massive impaction down there. But it's clear now, so he's got a long life ahead of him, hopefully. When you look at the North American snakes, they have evolved in this environment, in this system, and they hibernate. They just basically go into a almost catatonic state during the cold months. And then when it warms up, they emerge, you know, into the warmth, into the heat, and they go through their reproductive events. Burmese python has not evolved with that capacity.
The Everglades is surrounded by a rough, dense terrain, a protective habitat for many wetland birds, mammals, and reptiles. The perfect place for opportunistic predators like pythons.
Whoa, stay right there. Where? Right here. I'm gonna rain right over. Out the other side. I was watching out your side and almost ran right over the little monster.
Coming out from the sauger, look at this. Look at this pile of rocks back here behind us.
Oh, he might have been moving right out of there. Oh, this dude is not happy. Yeah, look at that.
Let's get temps real quick before you heat him up. 84.
84, so he's been out sun a little bit.
The Burmese python's ideal body temperature is in the upper 20s Celsius.
He's got good muscle tone. He looks all right.
You ready for a stretch? 87 total.
The data they collect on each capture will help state wildlife officials better understand the extent of the python problem and how to manage it.
Let's take a new data measurement we don't typically take. Let's take a girth at what we think is the widest part of the body.
To show how healthy the snakes are.
Yeah, let's get that. I think 1/8 1/4 right on the money.
When you look at this one, I would expect this snake to be good 9 to 10 inches in girth in captivity.
You know, for a wild animal, he's healthy wild weight.
Oh, he's definitely, he's in excellent shape. He's got,
He's headed out again.
Yeah, he's wanting to cruise and grab that bag. Let's get him bagged up.
During a capture, the python will expend its energy quickly in defense. For a period, it's almost completely docile until it's worked up enough strength to try to escape again.
We don't need to have a release on top of a capture, do we? Let's not get some spray in there.
We know how you like those ends, man.
I want to temp gun those rocks.
Yep,
Let's
I
see
got
what
it
the
right
temp is on those. Yeah, the temperature on these rocks are elevated. We're getting readings at, 7, 8 degrees higher than the surrounding. This is some great cover right here, actually.
Oh man, there's all kind of crevices and holes in there. Nothing big's gonna be in there.
The tiny crevices in the protective rock habitat probably saved this smaller python.
Whoa, what's that? I got a Burmese python carcass. Serious? Yep.
But no such luck for the larger snakes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a big animal.
This one's dead. That's more evidence supporting the hunter's theory that the small animals are surviving the cold better.
A large python would take a lot longer to get its core temperature where it needed to be active. At the same time, it's going to lose energy a lot quicker if it has to exert it. The smaller pythons can heat up much quicker, and that's why they tend to be faring better in the cold weather.
No doubt. Look at that. Still got a little bit of flavor, huh?
That one, though,
this is crazy. What's wrong, Michael? Michael's gonna vomit on me.
Did you get any in your mouth?
I'm wondering what kind of animal preyed upon this python. This is a large python. I'm guesstimating this python to be 14 feet or so.
It's about as large as wild pythons get. The bigger they get, the bigger prey they need, from rats to rabbits on up. They are efficient predators, digesting everything but small amounts of hair from their victims.
Deer? Right by your foot. Look at that. What is that? Right here. Is that deer?
No, it's not deer. It's wild hog.
Hey, there's more
Feral
over
pig.
here. Whatever, if that makes sense, because this was a large animal. Look at all this.
Yeah. He ate something as large as a wild pig down here. This animal needed to get a lot of sun to help digest that meal, which is going to make him extremely sluggish. It's going to make him very vulnerable.
Right, but what's the one animal that's really common in this system that can bust and crack ribs of a 14-foot plus python?
Those are the gators.
Those are the gators, no doubt.
No doubt.
Meet the giant python's match, the American alligator. It's the apex predator of the Everglades, numbering in the millions.
This weather's turning bad, guys.
When that, just a couple of minutes ago, it was like a 10-degree drop, just wham, like somebody'd opened a freezer door.
The hunters have to get out of here before the storm arrives. But getting to a hunting habitat and getting out can be two very different things.
All right, I'll push.
You're gonna haul ass and bust through the front of that.
Oh, my boots were stuck under the muck.
At the southern edge of the python hunters' recent hunting territory is a much busier snake habitat, the Tamiami Trail. Determined to hook a live giant, the hunters check this well-known python habitat. At dusk, this is where cold-blooded creatures lounge around the asphalt to absorb the heat from the day.
Sean! Dead berm.
It used to be a berm. Now it's a coiled corpse.
This is a prime example of what's happened during this cold snap and these freezes, because it's coiled up tightly, trying to get some sun, trying to warm itself up, I presume, and it just didn't make it. We can get a fairly good idea of the size of this snake from doing simple morphometrics. You know, you take the length of the skull and then you extrapolate to the length of a wild snake, and we can cross-reference that with other information we have.
Sean's calculations put this snake at just over 3 meters.
Definitely check out the teeth on this, though, up close, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, it's got a fair set of chompers there. If you were a marsh rabbit or a wood rat, you know, that's the last thing you'd want to see coming at you, but if you saw that, it's too late. Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's the good stuff right there.
A lot of the intestines in that are still here. You can see the fat deposits. So look at this, look at this.
Yep. Yeah, this was a healthy one. He just wasn't able to find refuge, yep.
So this is another victim of the weather.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, this, you know, nothing killed this, nothing tore to pieces, nobody ran over it.
This python's warming move has backfired. Positioning itself near the pavement actually exposed this big beast to the elements, freezing it in its tracks.
Our theory that smaller berms, they're possibly doing better. Here's a good size animal, plenty of fat stores. You know, it didn't make it. Thus far, I think our hypothesis is, you know, holding up. We'll see as the days go by.
The hunters have discovered when it comes to pythons surviving the cold, size matters, but they're still not sure why.
We're good to go. Let's find a live one now.
We've caught live ones since the cold snap, and we found dead ones. So the population's certainly not knocked out of the ball game, but it's probably knocked back a bit.
South Florida's long cold snap is playing havoc with many reptile species.
All right, this is really interesting here. We found a yellow-bellied turtle
laying eggs in the front of the facility here, and it was the wrong time of the year. She laid them in November. Now, being that these guys are normally born in the spring to summertime, being born in the wintertime here and the strange weather that we've had, this would have probably been a 100% fatality rate for these little turtles. So I went out, I dug up the eggs, and I incubated them. And I've never incubated turtle eggs before, so it was pretty exciting for us. And here, we've actually got one out already. These are the last two stragglers right here. We've got one still in the egg here. And normally these turtles would hatch underground. And then these little guys would have a huge trek through the pasture back to the water. And if you can see the tip of the snout, you will see the egg tooth right at the tip of his nose there. It's a very light colored, and it almost feels like a little shard of glass. All of the reptiles that hatch out have these little egg teeth, and that's how they cut through the eggs. So we've been lucky enough to get 9 out of the 12 to hatch, and we'll raise these guys up to about 3 or 4 inches so they got a better chance out there in the wild, and then we'll bring them down to the local ponds here on the property and turn them loose. So it's a great story, great ending for these little turtles that wouldn't have even had a chance.
Cold-blooded animals are completely dependent on their environment. But Greg's been amazed before by the python's ability to bounce back from a freeze.
What we used to do years ago, and we don't anymore for euthanization, is actually putting some of these reptiles in the freezer. And we had an injured python that I put in the freezer for 8 hours solid. Took that animal out of the freezer, and 4 hours later, it crawled away. So for short periods of freezing temperature, these animals can survive.
During normal South Florida temperatures, pythons can thrive and fight back. Wrestling 10 feet of muscle with a head the size of a grapefruit that's home to 100 teeth can be tricky. But these are experts.
This is a wild Burmese python, and this is a typical scenario that we find ourselves in when we catch them. Try to get them by the tail, kind of tease them out. Now, let's get her away from the water. Once they figure out that they're not going anywhere, then a lot of times they'll come right back on you. Whoa! Yeah! Especially when they're really warm. You gotta get them behind the head. They're real nimble. They can turn on you pretty good, so you just get it up.
Got him? Oh, yeah.
There we go. All right. You take a bite every now and then, that's to be expected. The intent is not to get bit ever. But you see, they go ahead and wrap those coils around them. That's a lot for support and leverage as well. And then they'll try to pull out of your hand. And you see slowly trying to draw himself back, gain that leverage to get out of my grasp. Try to keep that tail away from you, because that's the business end. Sometimes they evacuate, you know, that urine and that feces and the must on you.
That's spewing all over the place.
She get you?
Yeah, a little bit. I personally would rather get bitten because it's foul, but that's the life of a python hunter.
What in the hell? Dude, you can't put snake heads in my cup holder, okay?
I think the problem is you misidentified my snakehead holder as your drink holder.
Yeah, well.
To test their theory on python survival skills, the hunters break out their new toy.
Hey, we're bringing the snake cam.
Yeah.
No, it's not a trouser snake cam. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, this isn't a macro. This isn't a magnifying.
Yeah. Funny.
Work.
The hunters have rigged a small camera to the end of a flexible tube. This spy cam will allow them to investigate places where Burmese pythons may seek refuge from the cold snap and help determine what happened to the snakes.
Is that a good spot?
Thanks, sir.
Here we go. There's leaf litter and stuff in there, so it's not active.
I can't see anything down there. And that goes way back in there. Anything in there?
Burrow looks like, and it's all cleared out. Hey, look at this.
What you got?
Snake skeleton. Or part of one. Big vertebrae and ribs.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's a berm, no doubt.
Oh, another victim to the cold.
Well, as big as that is, it's shallow. What I'd like to find is deeper ones.
Yeah?
You know, it's all about energetics. You know, if they can't, A, secure enough food and thus energy to survive, they certainly can't, B, reproduce. And if they can't reproduce, they can't, C, establish a population.
We need to actually sit down and tally our numbers since the cold snap and get a real percentage on that.
Well, I think we got enough information here. Let's go ahead and area where we think we might find some live pythons.
This python became frozen dinner for ants and worms. But a few more dips down the road, the hunters discover signs of health in a hole.
I'm trying to get a better angle. It looks like a snake shed. Check this out. Oh, the sun. You see that? Looks like a berm shed.
So there's bits and pieces of it torn in there, so
It's
real fresh.
If that's a shed, ants and the other ant critters will get to that and be gone in 2 days or less.
That's definitely a Burmese shed.
I mean, we got a snake around here then. Yeah.
Finally, signs of life. After finding a freshly shed python skin, the hunters know there's a live snake in the area.
Turtle eggs. Matter of fact, you can see where the nest was dug up. Turtle egg shells around it.
That means there's definitely Burmese python food here because, you know, raccoons, possums, they're eating the turtle eggs.
Greg needs to get out of my head because that's exactly what I was thinking is where there are turtle egg predators. That means there's prey for Burmese python.
Look, there's something moving up there. There's something moving up in front of us.
That's a berm. That's a berm. Right there, Greg, get there. He's coming towards you.
When the sun finally comes out, the python hunter spots something glistening in the grass.
Oh, he knows you're there. Look at the tail
Yeah,
going.
he knows. Look at his tail going. He's wagging that tail. That animal is aggravated right now. He had a nice sun spot, and as soon as we come through that right there, he just started moving.
He came out of a hole around here somewhere. I guarantee it.
He's got his head covered right now, and he doesn't see us, so he's pretty calm. He's
Like,
almost invisible.
And that's not very much grass he was in either.
No. Oh, look at him.
Now see, now the sun comes back out. Look at him. He shines like a diamond.
Yep. When he moved, all I got was like a reflection glint off the scales. If he'd have stayed stationary like this, we could have walked right over him.
Even though this isn't its native home, the python's camouflage helps to avoid predators.
Yeah, just drag him out. Drag him out in the open.
Come here, buddy. Oh, yay.
And when that doesn't work,
Oh, yeah, he is upset.
it's a feat of physics. A snake uses almost half its body in a defensive strike. And it takes just 1/6 of a second to happen.
Yeah, he feels that heat coming off my hand. Sure does.
Oh, yeah.
He's forgot about me completely. You guys are moving enough.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not completely. Ooh, get that tooth on there. Come on.
He's trying.
You can get it.
Yeah,
you can
he's
get it.
trying.
Look at that.
Get that flesh.
Look at that. That animal is
It's a
beautiful.
decent looking
Look at
animal.
that. Yeah, look at
Weight-wise.
Yeah. But one of the smaller ones we've seen out here, and we look at these holes that we've been finding,
That's a perfect size to get in there.
He
Get out of the
could
cold.
get into those crevices.
It feels pretty empty.
Little spurs. That's a girl.
Cooperative.
There he is. And we got 85. 7.5, Greg.
7.5 on the girth.
The measurements indicate she's young and healthy.
86, 87.
That's ideal python body temperature. And this snake's lean and mean, all of which have helped her to survive the Florida freeze. It's an important discovery.
Who actually caught that one?
What's that?
I grabbed it first. You saw it first. You get to carry it. Oh, we'll just share it.
Wait a minute.
Kidding?
Wildlife officials think between 3,000 and 100,000 pythons live here. Even if it's possible that 50% succumb to the cold, there's still a huge python problem in the glades.
Greg's hunting style is a little different than mine. in that he doesn't catch as many animals.
Bandit right there.
Stop.
There's a water
Stop.
snake right there. Stop right down on the rocks.
We're both go-getters. You know, if anything, we're racing each other to the snakes, and you know, it's a friendly knockdown, drag out to see who gets there first. Holy cow! Look at that gator. Jesus.
What a shit. Come on, get in there. Son of a bitch.
Oh! All right, give me my snake.
I got this fair and square.
Fair and square, you bailed out of the boat on me.
Look at that gator.
Look at that.
You didn't see the gator?
Yeah, I saw the gator.
Yeah, I got that fair and
Look
square.
at that.
But he's a little sneaky about slipping out, trying to get that one up again on the numbers.
No, this is a brown water snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a bandit at first, but this is a gorgeous brown water snake.
Oh, no, not again.
You got your phone?
That's why I don't have a leather one, for just that reason.
You know, there's one good thing about this, Greg. He's gonna be freaking miserable the rest of the day.
The sun is back in Florida, and temperatures approach near normal. But after almost 2 straight weeks of lows below 10 degrees Celsius, the coldest winter in 30 years has killed thousands of animals in the Everglades. At Sean's place, his wife Jen and son Thorne get their exotic animals out for some much-needed basking. Meanwhile, the python hunters try to turn their data into conclusions.
We're subtropical, and that's the tip of Florida. These animals have evolved and come from Southeast Asia, which is full-on tropical climate.
The farthest north animals we found are in very poor condition, and now all the way down into the south. We're finding just as many dead animals as we are live ones now after this cold front has gone through.
Extended periods of cold is a death warrant for them.
Sean knows firsthand about the effects of cold on pythons. He conducted a series of state-sanctioned cold weather experiments on the serpents.
Well, it's colder than snot out here. That's what I found. But you know, it's the morning of the 4th day. There's absolutely no response. I don't see any breathing. 26, 27 degrees. That's head temp on this animal. They are icicle cold. Magnificent animals, but they just can't take sustained cold like this.
6 of the 7 snakes perished in the cold. The 7th died later from a resulting upper respiratory infection.
I don't see how all this talk about them making their way up to Georgia and the Carolinas and then to Virginia and on up to Washington has any merit at all.
So you're saying we're not gonna have pythons crawling across the White House lawn in 10 years?
No, not at all. Don't believe they're gonna be crawling across the governor's mansion's lawn in Florida or Georgia either.
The very southern tip of Florida is the only thing that's going to support these animals. These respiratory infections with their immune system down could take months to take its toll on these pythons. So we got a lot more data to get out there and collect.
But these giant snakes have also shown an incredible ability to battle back.
I think they're resilient. I think the fact that we are finding, you know, a number of them still alive means that they're not down and out totally.
We found that one Burmese python that got into that cold state, that catatonic state, and those vultures just, you know, picked a 15-inch by 4-inch chunk of meat out of that thing.
As part of a fully sanctioned experiment, Greg took the python back to his reptile facility. There, he enlisted his son Lane in helping with its recovery. They gave the ravaged wild burm water and a warm, dry spot to recover from its wounds.
I'm gonna pass it off to you, all right, Lane, so I can inspect the body on this guy again. Still acting like that wild burm. Can you get him under here? Slide under my hand.
When Lane's at school, he's got such a reputation for dealing with wildlife.
Tell me when you got him.
That any time they've got a snake or something in the playground, they call him out of class to come catch it.
All right, look at this. Well, look how good he's healing. And that was raw muscle last time. So this is where a bunch of them ate part of his skin right off, and then they pecked throughout his body. And we caught that animal from the nose all the way around this eye. Looked totally damaged. And after this animal has shed out, you can see he's got a little bit of scar tissue around the eye, so he's missing this big scale right here around that one eye. But other than that, everything else is healing perfectly on this animal. That's amazing. What do you think?
I think he's doing good. Here's a maggot. That's good, isn't
that,
it?
Yeah, that is good. You know why that's good?
Because they eat the dead skin off.
That's exactly right.
That's amazing to show the resilience of these animals. So, I mean, I don't think by any means we've wiped these things out.
So I think we can all agree that having a cold event that would totally eradicate them is probably not going to happen. So we're still going to have to manage these animals.
You know, we've collected a lot of data. It's adding up. It's putting the, the pieces in the puzzle, But there's still a lot of more data to collect. You know, as strange as it sounds, it's really a dance between us and the python. The python doesn't necessarily dance to the tune we have in mind. Sometimes we step on each other's toes. You know, that's the life of a python hunter.